Hey everybody, it's Chris with Drop Dice. So we are back again doing L5R Beta Dojo. Um, let's kind of talk about what we're doing here at the meta level, if you will, and then we'll kind of discuss more about what we're doing just in general. Murdoch, since you were running the show last time, I'd like for you to go ahead and take it over. Since it's your news, I don't want to say anything that you're uncomfortable with as well.
Sure. So for those that are watching on Drop Dice's channel, recently I got some pretty heavy medical news that is requiring me to take lots of time away from gaming. And it's been very difficult for me. My friends all know what it is. But ultimately, my game where I was going to run the adventure out of the beta is going to be put on the back burner for now. I'm still able to play because that doesn't take a lot of time for me to be able to prepare. But I will not be able to run for at least a few more weeks while I finish up my testing and get my results. With that being said, I talked to Drop Dice, Chris here, and he said that he's more than willing to run the adventure that he was going to run. And I think everybody's going to build new characters. We were joking around about 5 Shinobi. God,
it's not going to happen.
I hope that happens.
If you want it to happen, I'll make it happen, Murdoch. But if you want, you just have to.
I don't know that Chris wants to deal with the 5 Shinobi.
I'll be honest. I think it's hilarious. I want to watch the game. I don't want to participate in that game.
I was going to say,
I'm not a good ninja.
But with that being the case,
do something like that in the future. I don't think this is the game for it.
With that being the case, I'm going to turn it back over to Drop Dice, who's going to pick up this adventure for now, and we are going to move from here to his adventure. I believe we're doing some 20 questions follow-up stuff, possibly building characters for his game, so you'll get to see a second version of the 20 questions, different explanations and questions from people, and whatnot. And I believe that Chris is going to go step a little outside the beta as well, but we'll leave that for him. So, Chris, to you.
Yeah, so if you have been on the channel before, you may be familiar with the 3 Feet from Death campaign series. I started with these guys, and technically I started it before I even got the 3 Feet from Death name. It's always been kind of my own homebrew L5R. The rules, just so everybody's clear on it, is whatever period we start in, historically, things have happened according to canon. If players have influenced canon, my players' choices and decisions are considered superior. So if, for example, my players, I don't know,
kill the Empress,
unseated the Empress by tossing her dishonorably down a pit and seated the Daigotsu on the throne, that is a thing that we are going to explore. So with that in mind, we're actually playing earlier in the timeline than I have ever had anyone play a 3 Feet from Death campaign. So there's not going to be any prior character history. However, knowing these guys, we're probably going to do a little bit of tie-ins somewhere to characters. Maybe introduce some items like the spiritual bound scalpel that Kakita got inside his adventure. I will most likely bring that back into this game and have it show up at some point.
The chair.
Because I like things like that. I like legacy games, and I think that L5R really fits the idea of having a legacy. It's part of the reason I like Star Wars as much as I do too. So with that in mind, if you have seen the channel, the city building challenge, we built the city of Toshijido no Kawa, which means the city of Jade Rivers. That is going to be the setting. The timeline is going to be pre-Scorpion Coup. We're going to stick with the L5R beta timeline, but because this is a homebrew setting, we are discussing creating some schools that are homebrewed. This was one of my plans anyways to do with the L5R beta rules, just to see how customization works and how homebrewing could work out to our advantage. So let's kind of talk about some stuff from the previous group real quick, because I think there were some outstanding questions on the 20 question stuff, or possibly rules that I know that Nate had expressed. We're going to start kind of there and kind of talk about those real quick, and then if you guys are cool with it, we'll do like a speed round of 20 questions, because I think our last video with Murdoch guiding it through was a really great set of pacing. I've received comments inside my my Facebook inbox about it. People really liking the kind of meticulous pattern that we took with it last time. So if you are looking for a more comprehensive breakdown of what the 20 questions are and how a group would be formed during a session 0, check out the character gen L5R beta video, which I will throw in the comments, as Murdoch is indicating, after the video is done being uploaded.
Links in the doobly-doo!
Yeah, links in the doobly-doo. So with that said, guys, I missed my intro. So if you guys don't mind, hail Dicelings and ready your scrolls, because tonight a new legend begins.
Hail Dicelings.
Also, may I just interject? Don't forget to buy
Guns Make Us Online.
Damn it, Murdoch! I almost had it. At least.
And their expansion that came out about 6 months ago.
Yeah. Actually, this is probably worth noting. Not sure if I should say this, but if you wait a week, you may be able to pick it up for really cheap. Keep an eye out on that.
Humble bundle.
Yep. Cheap, like as in
Very
free
cool.
codes from friends.
Yes.
That has 2, 3, 5, 9 years. We still haven't gotten codes.
I haven't known you for 9 years.
8 years.
It's been 8. We're working on 9. We're getting there.
We're trying to.
Actually, I think Tom is at 7.
Was
Look,
Tom
'Cause we knew each other.
But Tom is a +2.
Tom gets +2
I
to
was gonna say, to
how
be
long
fair,
he's
I
been here.
met Tom before he started working on the project. So, let's
Doesn't
talk
matter.
about any outstanding questions. I actually did a video where I filled in the rest of the questions for my character. I assume you guys are probably talking about like Geary and Ninja, because that was the hardest part.
Yeah, that was
Mostly.
super hard for me to try to come up with, and I still haven't come up with anything good, because just trying to solidify the idea of what I wanted into words is not what I'm usually good at anyway. So
Right.
it's really hard for me to put that.
I think that's kind of the beauty of the question, though, that it's just like a vague, milky,
agree-
cloudy concept.
I totally agree. I agree with that. I think it's a great question. I'm never going to disagree with that. I just think that it was really hard for me to answer.
So I've been
Question
playing a
is
couple
hard.
games that have a similar principle where you write down what your character's beliefs are and you play to the beliefs. Like Burning Wheel is one of them. So I've gotten a little bit better at this. Essentially, kind of the thing to do is write down what your character believes when the game starts, not what you overall want to accomplish, because your beliefs can change. That's definitely something that I intend to have during game. The only one that's a little bit different is Geary. Geary is about your duty, so that one you just have to think about whoever your character is loyal to, what their orders to you were. So, for example, my Kikita duelist that I built before, he has been assigned as a bodyguard to the Bayushi character. So that is his Geary. He was done by his lord. And the thing that I really liked about one of the beta rules inside there is that you can get multiple Geary. So if like you guys go into Toshijito no Kawa and you take on like a set of orders from the lord of the city, you could have a Geary from him, which may be in conflict with your Geary or your Ninja. The Ninja is the one that I would write as like what you think your character's belief is starting things off. And like I said, that can evolve over time. So if you write it really broad and it's something like, I want to be the best Shugenja ever. Okay, that's great. I would probably define it a little bit more and say, I'm seeking to unveil or recover some ancient secret spell or something like that. Like something that's more tangible that you can actually like fight towards, because being the best Shugenja ever is kind of a broad stroke thing that should happen because of your legacy, not because of you actively pursuing it. Naruto happens to be one of those examples of why that's not necessarily a really great goal to have in mind, because, I want to be the Hokage greatest ninja ever. Okay, Hokage is achievable. That's something you can plan for. Greatest ninja ever? Hopefully that kind of helps clear that up. I don't know if you guys have been playing with other games like that, but I know that
it does. That's
kind of how Burning Wheel sets it up. And I think that's a good example.
I'd have to say, yeah, that helps a little bit.
No. Now I want to be the best ninja ever.
I feel like I want to be the best Shigenji ever now.
The other thing that I like about writing them as like steps to a greater goal, like inside your head, you're like, okay, I'm going to make the character who's going to go down in legend as a legendary shinobi. Well, what are the steps to become a legendary shinobi? So writing down your ninja as like, prove myself to my master. It sounds like a very small step, but maybe your master's kind of a hard ass, and so it will take work to do it. Whatever your ninja is, it should require work to it. It's not going to be a super small step, but it will be towards that legendary status.
If I may interject there as well, your ninja can also change, or your nindo,
Yes.
whatever it's called, can also change over time. And, you know, that's an important thing to remember, is that what's the step to become the greatest? All right, so I've made my master recognize me now. You know, and one of the things about recognition as a shinobi is you really don't want to be totally recognized as a shinobi.
Right.
So what other steps can you do? And you may want to incorporate those further. And so that's very important to remember as well. I apologize for interjecting there, Chris.
No, that's good. So kind of taking that idea and furthering it out, like if your character was able to accomplish the fact that like his master actually recognized him. So that goal has been accomplished. So the next thing that you may need to do is maybe do your next ninja as recognition from your clan champion, because maybe your daimyo is aware of what you're doing because that's your family head, but your clan champion is not necessarily knows who you are. They know that there are ninjas in the clan, but they don't know who you specifically are. So that definitely could be like like the next step up from there. If you wanted to become a ninja that was known throughout the empire, maybe making contact with an emerald magistrate and establishing a firm relationship between the two. Maybe the next step after that is the Emerald Champion or the Emperor directly. You can basically build on these things to make your legend what you want it to be. Let me see if I can get those for you, Murdoch, because I have fillable ones.
Do you?
Yeah, I'm going to share a folder that's got my character in it too. Yeah, there's a gentleman on the Happy Jacks forums that went and made them. So it actually made things a lot easier. I actually did, when I did my rest of my 20 questions video, I posted up a viewable link to my character and the 20 questions so that anybody can review those. There you go.
Thank you.
I'm also working on a Roll20 that has a lot of the charts that we should be referencing for opportunities, because as I go through the beta and reread them and make sure that I understand everything, I'm like, wow, there's a lot of charts I should probably have handy. So I'm going to add those to Roll20 as time goes on. Speaking of Roll20s, let me get you guys a link. That way it's already in there. There is a beta character sheet. It will not roll for us, but we can put our characters into the beta, into the Roll20.
That's what the dice.
I like the dice roller anyways. I think it's a very solid one. I've mentioned it before. Fantasy Flight makes really, really good dice rollers for the applications. If you want a application dice roller, it's worth the $5. If you don't want to spend $5, get yourself Google surveys, fill out like 6 surveys, and you'll pay for it.
That's how I paid for it.
Yep.
I picked everything on Google. Oh yeah.
I didn't know about that.
Google.
You just leave your location setting on and just take your phone everywhere you go, and
it'll just, all it'll do is every now and then you'll get shit like
Home Depot.
Have you been here recently? Yes. Did you buy?
I haven't gotten a Google reward in months.
I haven't gotten one in a couple months either. I just have to have some spare money in my account.
Sometimes you can go a couple months without them because I've done that, but recently I picked them up, a lot of them.
So you send a link here. You guys are going to notice a different map than last time. I went with a map that is based
Holy
on...
shit. Hold on real quick. I just want to put this out there. Since I started doing Google Rewards in 2014, I've earned $66.70.
I've earned about $100 since 2014.
Yeah, I'm somewhere in there too. It's ridiculous how much you can make off this stuff. It's like $35.
I haven't been doing it very long, but I think mine's at like 40. So
yeah, that's great. It's free.
It doesn't sound like it does. Yeah, it doesn't sound like a lot per year, but it's like when you think about like how much you actually spend, that's about right.
I've only done it for like a year, so I've already gotten 40. So I mean, it depends. like I drive a lot for work, so I get them all over the place.
Yeah,
And
you
those
would.
are like the champ of surveys.
Hmm.
So the Roll20 has a different map than you guys are used to seeing. It is based upon the first edition book, which is the same timeline as Fantasy Flights. So this is a good point to talk about Rokugan and maps. Every edition has different maps, and the in-character reason for that is the fact that... Oop, hold on a second. I'm broadcasting stuff inside Roll20. I don't want to do that.
Broadcast. Go up there.
I just disabled it. So the reason that the maps change with each edition is the idea is that in first edition, when the commies fell from the earth, they drew the map based upon their memory of falling from the heavens of what Rokugan looked like. With each edition, there have been Imperial scouts that have gone out and surveyed, and they've been refining the map. However, some people say that the map is not correct, that mortals are screwing up because there's human error, that the most perfect map was when the kami drew it from their interpretation of falling from the sky. This map was drawn with the interpretation of falling from the sky. I chose this one specifically because it's more historically accurate to the period that we're going for. This is a cleaned up version of what the first edition map looked like. I will do what I did before and put a bunch of stuff on there that will indicate like where things are, but you'll notice that the Crane lands are a little different than the last time we played. Scorpion lands are about the same. Crab lands are about the same.
It's really hard to change up where the crab lands are, because you know you have to change up majorly where the Shadowlands are then, and that just doesn't work that way.
There are a couple minor clans that are on here that are bigger like minor clans that are noticeable. So you'll see that there is like the centipede, the hare, the fox, and the sparrow, or sparrow.
Sparrow?
Or the sea
the
clan.
wasp. Oh, is it the mantis?
The mantis is still a group of joined smaller minor clans. They haven't become full clan status just yet.
Do we have a link for this? Because I'm not seeing it.
I put a Roll20 link in there.
It's Roll20, man.
It's in the Hangouts chat.
I don't see it.
It's right below the.
Oh,
Google Drive.
Jesus, yeah.
I know. I missed it at first too.
Yeah.
Took me a second.
Let me add characters here. The cool thing is the sheet that's inside here is actually pretty much just like the normal sheet, so that's pretty good. I'm not sure who put it together, but they did a great job on it. Okay. There should be one character that can be seen by all of you right now.
Yeah.
Now 2.
Nope.
Yeah, I still only see one character.
Okay. It's 3.
Yeah, it's a
You
really
guys may have to refresh after I get done, so just hang tight for a second. All right, go ahead and refresh, and it should be done.
I see 2 now.
Okay. Well, I've done 5.
I have not even refreshed yet. It's just let me refresh just in case.
There it goes. It's finally putting dots down, so you guys should see them now.
Yep, even after the refresh, it's still 2. Maybe it's just taking a while on their side to. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just taking a while to populate for us.
Now I see 3. Now I see one named Murdoch and one named Jeremy.
Yeah, I'm working my way through.
Yeah, it's just so it's not our side. It's server. It's their server. It's Roll20
looks
server
like it's
side.
server lag from Roll20.
Yeah. Now I see 4. That is obviously you, Nate.
All right, I'm Ojitad Prouja now.
Nope, Nate, you're not Otis. You can't be him now.
Dang it. There's two of me.
Nope. He's obviously the evil. That was Brendan.
Oh, jeez.
There we go.
It was a perfect anagram. How did I not figure it out?
All right, so the Roll20's up. I am going to open up one of the sheets here. I'm going to look up Murdoch's. You guys can basically plug in your characters from here, but there's also the 20 questions sheet is inside the characters, which I thought was pretty cool. The ones I gave you guys, or gave you a link to, Murdoch, if you wanted to use that to post stuff later, you could, since player or viewers will not see our 20 questions inside the Roll20, but it's not a big deal if you don't want to.
I like how it has the campaign sheet built into it too.
Yeah.
Ooh, and a separate technique sheet. Nice. Oh man, an entire combat sheet too.
This is pretty dope, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, if you look at the regular character sheet, there's a narrative sheet and a combat sheet. It's emulating the same thing.
Yeah.
I do like that the techniques have their separate page.
I think the techniques having their separate page is really good.
And then the advancement thing, I think, is a lot more functional than the character sheet. I actually had a lot of things to say about the character sheet when I did my character tools video. I think there's some things that could be cleaned up to make it a little better.
I was gonna say, in the
Roll20 fixes a lot of that stuff.
In the what's it called? In the beta book, there are like expanded advancement tables for each of the classes, each of the schools.
Yeah.
Which are really nice, but I mean, they're pretty much just an expanded version. They're not really anything special.
Yeah, I think if you print off, you should use the actual like one for your school instead of the one that's generic that comes with a character sheet. I think it's just a more practical way to go.
I fully agree, because at least you just have more room to write things in. There's a lot better, and it tracks the experience better.
Well, the tracking's the same. It's just the way you type it in is a little different.
Yeah, I like the way it types in. That's why.
There's also some redundancies on that technique or the advancement page that I don't like, but I've already discussed all that.
or you can just use Roll20 and everything's nicely set up.
Yeah, definitely worth the tool. So let's talk about Toshijito no Kawa for a minute. If you guys follow the videos, it's been a while since I've done them, so it's worth kind of refreshing. I am going to do what we did for our first L5R game that was recorded, which is I'm going to write basically an overall situation, which we'll discuss here. And then I'll write examples of each type of campaign that could be conducted, which we'll also kind of discuss here. But I'm going to write it out and have it like posted to this video so that people can see how I do my prep work for campaigns, because that's actually came up in the Google community. It's like, how do you do things that are not just Emerald Magistrates? Because L5R has always lent itself to Emerald Magistrate games.
Because it allows so much freedom.
And we've actually done a surprising amount of things that are not Emerald Magistrates as a group.
I think that was our first game.
And you guys were like deputies to the Emerald Magistrates. You guys never fully embraced it, except for Kunitaru, who was the only one who like fully embraced the title of Emerald Magistrate.
Cause fuck yeah.
So let me grab.
Well, the problem is I just became too kill happy.
I found a seat. But no, I'm glad we didn't, like, even naturally, when we were given the option of essentially being Emerald Magistrates, we still just organically did not become Emerald Magistrates as a whole.
Right.
That shows you something about our group. You know, is it just not following the rules, or we just don't play that way? I'm going to go with the first one, personally.
Here we go. I'm just going to open up the beta rule book. That way I can have it handy. So we already discussed it. I am open to creating new schools based upon using the techniques that are listed inside the beta. We would just pick out techniques that make sense for that school idea. As you guys know, I'm pretty well versed in L5R, so I think we can comfortably come together to create a school. I would prefer if we stick with schools that already exist, However, if we want to invent a new school and say that it's like a Ronin school, that's also an option.
That's the one thing I didn't like about the beta. I wish they had at least one Ronin school pre-built. Just would have been nice.
I think that Fantasy Flight is kind of going away from that for the core book release, which I can't really blame them since most of the gameplay happens with clans. I wouldn't be surprised if there wasn't like a supplemental add-on that was about Ronin.
All right, I can accept that. The way, especially the way Final Fantasy likes to build their I'll never not say it like that. It's just such a.
I catch myself sometimes doing the same thing.
Like I can't help it. Like just the word fantasy to use it like that. FFG. The way I know the way they release books and all that, they tend to release them in thematic releases. And so I don't blame you for that.
It's I mean, honestly, I think it's kind of a good way to do it because it would give the Ronin more onus to the game system than they have in the past.
Because I feel like that they would build a book designed around like, adventures around being a Ronin instead of just whatever. But I felt like the beta would have at least one so you could get an idea of what they might go for in the future. Just a thought. Beyond that point.
All right, so let me open up the core book here and open up to the 20 questions. Kind of like what we did before, where we did the rice farmer who became a Ronin. Answer the questions for the character you want to play, not necessarily the one that we have 100% of the rules for, because again, homebrew stuff, so I'm open to that. So let's go ahead and take a look here where the 20 questions start. I went way too deep in the book. Let's see. The game of 20 questions. All right, so the first bit is talking about the core clan identity. Now, you guys may have some questions remaining from the 20 questions last time we did it. If those come up during play or during our new set of 20 questions here, feel free to ask them. That way I can address them. All right, so I guess I need more screen real estate than I thought I did. Okay.
Could never have enough.
So core clan identity, or your core identity, is stuff like your family and your school, etc. So the first question is, what clan does your character belong to? Does anybody have an idea off the top of their head? Or actually, I'm getting super far ahead of myself. Let's talk about Toshijido no Kawa for a second and what the hell's going down over there so that we have an idea of what we're actually getting ourselves into. So the setup for Toshijido no Kawa, it's a city overrun by crime and backdealings with a shiny exterior of fashion and honor. The Anu imperial family keeps things on the up and up on paperwork. They may not even be aware of all the backdealings in their own city. 4 factions are secretly working within the city to take control of its workings. One of the Empire's top producing cities for Jade is on the precipice of change, and everyone can benefit from it. So that's kind of the basic setup here. I do have the hook for magistrates done, because I was trying to write them up before we started. But I kind of want to talk about the different options that are open to us, if I don't have a lot of screaming going on. So as magistrates, basically, crime within the walls of Toshijido no Kawa has never been a surprise to the Emerald Magistrates. But the emergence of a group known as the Jade Serpents has drawn their ire. The Jade Serpents are rumored to be worshipping a Gaijin god who has provided miracles to its followers without the power of the kami. If there is any truth to the matter, you'll get to the bottom of this. This stinks of Maho. Your first lead is to investigate the case of Yumi the Ronin Guard and Kamio the Edda server at the Thousand Petal Tea House. Both have been accused of Mahusuke. Yumi was accused by Cameo after a string of mysterious happenings at the tea house. Cameo, in return, was accused by Anu Shigeko of the same crimes. The local magistrates seem lost and have asked for help from the Jade magistrates in this matter. For Imperial Legionnaires, there is let me find him real quick so I can get his name correct. Okay, so I'm not like staring off into space for a second there. Here we go. All right, so as Imperial Legionnaires, your hook would be a Shugenja has lost his rank within the Imperial Legions and has gone missing. He has taken a contingency of soldiers, and you believe that he is now located in Toshijito no Kawa. You are to investigate, find out what he is doing there, if it needs to be stopped, and quite possibly bring in all of the deserters for trial and possible execution, depending on what their trial comes out to. Let me find him real quick to see if you guys get a real name or if you get his alias, which I believe you get his real name. Yeah, you get Kitsu. Let me give him a first name because I don't have one here. Kitsu Anu. For a Shadowlands game, it is basically the idea of the Jade Serpents taken to 10. You would be arriving to the city for a Maho investigation from the Kuni witch hunters. You are there to investigate this rumor that underneath the city there is a great snake, and that there may be some connection to the Shadowlands. There has been some facts that have emerged that state that the Anu family may be involved, or at least aware of this great snake's presence underneath the city. Whoever would be the leader of the group would be aware of what the Naga are, and your character would be concerned with the fact that the Naga are coming back, whereas the other members were not granted that knowledge. So the idea of Naga would not be on their mind, because theoretically they should be asleep and creatures of myth. Let's see, for the Shiken, that's what we did last time. I would rather not do Shiken again. Are we in agreement on that one?
Shiken?
Yeah, that was the Arbiters, where you guys came in to kind of be the middle liars between two warring factions, Toshihito burned. I think we did a really good job of exploring that last time, so I'd like to avoid that one.
I'm good without it.
Okay.
Sesho, which are also Arbiters, are on the Imperial side of things. If you go in as Sesho, it would be basically to investigate some of the tithing that has been done. The Jade supply has not been as fruitful as it has been in the past couple of years, and you're trying to figure out exactly why and get to the bottom of it, because according to all the books, you should have received more Jade. There's either a problem within the city or along the trade routes that is not being properly documented. So you would be following the lead into the city while another team is checking the trade routes. As Imperial cartographers, Toshijito no Kawa, let me pull up the Roll20 beta here. I'm going to ping the map where Toshijito no Kawa is. There's a little square right there. So the big forest that's over here, just to the left of that on the map, that is the forest that, like, the spirits of the animals show up. It is rather hard to track and a very confusing kind of spooky place to be. Imperial cartographers, you would be sent there to try and see if you can find a new place to establish a city within the forest, or at least closer to the forest, so that it can be cut down and the wood can be used for ships. You are aware that the Mantis clan, or I should say the Yoritomo Alliance, is growing, and their demand for wood is increasing. So as Imperial cartographers, you would be here looking for some of the best woods for them, and establishing a village that could properly maintain trade routes of wood. Next would be Otokodate, which I always screw up saying. That's the Brotherhood one. I got to thinking about this. I've been thinking about how Giri and Ninja work. The Ototodake could be done by basically lining up your Giri or your Ninja in a way that you all have pretty much the same goal. So think like Seven Samurai. If you're familiar with that movie or the anime series, they all basically want the same thing, but they have different ideas of how to go about it. They want to save these people from the Ronin warlord, but they do it for very different reasons. That they have different reasons for being involved, different goals in mind, but it's all for this one purpose. So as a group, we would decide on what our one purpose is. My suggestion would be something like eliminating crime within Toshijito no Kawa. And then you guys get to be the Ronin Force 5 Batman type team that takes out crime in the city.
That would be nice. That would be a nice one, especially if someone, Nate, wants to play an investigator.
They all work for Investigator. You kidding me? Investigator can do anything it wants.
Investigator, it doesn't work as well for the cartography.
And then the last one is the restricted style campaign. There are a couple of options. I would think that restrictions should be done by clan, most likely inside this case. We are close to Scorpion Lands and Crab Lands. Both of those could be good restrictions. Imperial Family could be good restriction. We could even go into a role restriction and be like, everyone's a Bushi, enjoy. Or we could go into something like, you guys mentioned ninjas. That could be a restriction game. Everyone is a ninja.
We didn't talk about ninjas. I don't know what you're talking about.
If you guys go with a ninja game as your restriction, what I would recommend is that we also do an Otokodate, which is basically you're all ninjas, but you're working together for some sort of goal. In which case it could be something like unseat the Anu family and take over the city, because that's what most of the criminal organizations are doing too. So
once again, we don't know.
That's kind of the options of the ones that I can think of. To give you an idea of how the city is built, there are 6 districts that each serve a very specific purpose to the actual function of the city. Sorry, I shouldn't eat this stuff. The Anu Estate and Garden are kind of like the imperial house of the city. It's the largest section of the city. I said that kind of the way to picture it is like there's a big rectangle, and then there's 2 smaller ones, and then 2 smaller ones, and there's canals throughout the whole city. There are paper lanterns that are strung across all the canalways. The city always looks like it's in mid-festival year-round, and the Anu family keeps kind of this air of celebration to the city. And it's a good way for them to cover up the crime that they're having problems with. Inside the Anu estate, there's the Anu Garden. Sorry, it's 2 big sections and then 4 small sections. The Anu Garden is another big section. People travel from all over the empire to visit the Anu Garden. There are exotic plants and things like that have been taken care of there. And it's just one of the more beautiful places in the empire. A lot of people have written songs and poems that take place in the Anu Garden. The next up is the marketplace, which basically is there to exchange goods, mainly for doing things like small trade of jade, fish, food, otherwise. Big trades of jade happen somewhere else, which I'll talk about here. The next is the storehouses. They are right next to the marketplace. They're that first row of small places. The storehouses are protected by several different Ronin groups that have been hired on by different members of the city. Even people that that own businesses have these teams of Ronin. There are clan members that have Yojimbo that are in charge of like storehouses and safety. It's a harder area to get away with crime, but it's a much more prosperous area to try to get away with your crimes. The next is Etta Housing. Etta Housing is kind of on the exterior bottom side of the city. It's where the ships kind of pass by. This is the area where all the underclass live. It's also an area where a lot of rumors travel and things like that. Pretty much every place you go within the city is going to have rumors. Everyone is going to use rumors. So this game will have a lot of that. To give you an idea, I have 33 NPCs that are already named and have stories associated with them. They also each have 3 rumors associated with them. And then each NPC has 3 rumors associated with someone else. So there's a lot of back and forth and things that can be found by connecting dots. So investigators would be kind of a cool thing to play inside here, because you're going to get a lot of little tidbits of information that you can filter through, find the truth to the matter, and investigate things. The next is Samurai Housing. Samurai Housing is across from the Etta Housing. So the Etta are nearby for the Samurai when they call upon them. It's a very nice area of town. There are more canals inside there, and there are small estates all over the place. Each family or each clan has a house, or sorry, a lodge house that is dedicated to them. So if you're new to the city and you don't own property yet, you could always stay at the Crane Clan estate, essentially, or whatever your clan is. If you are Ronin, however, you would more likely find a place to stay at like one of the hotels or the tea house. The next one is the Hinnon and Wharf District. Because Hinnon are your working class, they actually pretty much live where they work, which is on the wharfs. You will notice there have been more of the Yoritomo Alliance coming through on smaller ships so that they could travel upriver. And so there's been a little bit more influence of the families that will eventually become the Mantis. That is all my districts and kind of what's going on with each one of those. You guys would know of the 4 factions. There's the Jade Serpents, which is a religious criminal faction. You won't know too much about each of these factions until you really get into the city and start discovering things. The next one is called 1,000 Notes, which is a trade syndicate. The next one is called the Guiding Hand. They're fairly new. People aren't really sure exactly what they're about. People do know that they are a spiritual faction because of the things that they've been doing lately. They seem to be protecting temples. There's been different criminal organizations that have turf wars and things like that, and they will show up as a third party to protect a temple that is within the city's limits from being destroyed during turf wars and stuff like that. The next one is called the Quiet Storm. They are brand new. The only reason anybody really knows who they are is they've been finding like boxes that have been pilfered full of goods, or that were once full of goods, with a diving dragon turtle emblazoned on the sides. And there's really not much known, even for the people who live in the city, about what they are or what they're doing. So that is, in a nutshell, what's going on inside Toshijito no Kaba. So with that in mind, do you guys have any questions before we get to the 20 questions?
Good.
Not.
I posted one in the Roll20.
Oh. Yeah, Daidoji Harrier is fine. That's
Okay.
that's the one that I was talking about for the Crane Clan Ninja.
I also have one question.
Yep.
And if I missed it,
We'll
I
just
was-
have to build it. That's the only thing that I do want to point out.
if I missed it, I'll have to. You can chide me for that. But if I didn't, so we decided we're doing the. We're essentially going to try to do the campaign where we stay in the city.
More or less. It's going to be like how the first season that was on Drop Dice was, where it will start in the city. However, if you guys start venturing out and going to other places, that's fine. But there's definitely going to be a purpose to being in the city to start us off. As the game goes on, it's going to become more and more about your Giri and your Ninjo, and wherever that takes us. But this gives us kind of a place to start.
Really?
I think it'd be very interesting for a Doji Harrier.
Just I'm not even gonna get into it. Because I was thinking, Chris, there is one class, there's one school I've always wanted to play that it's not. I'm just like Murdoch. It's not in the beta, but it is it is a school that was I remember seeing in 4th edition.
Okay.
The Kasuga Smuggler.
Oh, I thought you were going to be like, I want to be a sumo.
Well, no, trust me, I was thinking that one too. I was trying to think. That's why I was asking how we, if what we're gonna do. It's like, I'm sorry, I can't. If we were gonna do like cartography, I can't do sumo. That just doesn't make any sense. He doesn't need the exercise.
Chris, I sent you a link to like a.
I got you.
Okay.
But it all depends on. For me, it's like it all depends on how other people are gonna play.
So how about we talk about the base storyline seeds there? Were there any that you guys really kind of thought yourself being attached to? Unlike unlike Toshi Rambo, this city is not pretty much doomed to erupt in war. This one has a little bit more free will in it, and it has a lot more opportunities for you guys to do things for your clan and yourselves and be not so great samurai.
I think we should be basically with the timeline being what it is and the clans being at a relative Cold War at the moment. I think it would be a cool way to go if basically we decided to all be not necessarily ninjas, but bushi ninjas or courtiers that are more focused in combat, like a duelist, for example. And we are sent here basically by our clans to work together to ostensibly clean up what's going on here, but with a back kicker of gain all the information you can on each other, because Rukigan is about to erupt.
That would make sense. Yeah. So maybe like an Oda Tadake that would be focused on like cleaning up the city would be the suggestion then.
Was Oda Tadake the Brotherhood one?
Yeah, the Brotherhood.
I like that one.
I like that one too because it kind of touches upon some of the classic films that got me into L5R, like Seven Samurai, for example.
It's a very classic theme when it comes to Eastern movies, especially samurai movies. Just the coming together, no matter the circumstance, always the coming together for a single purpose. That's a huge theme.
Yeah,
I was about to say, like, having this campaign start off with a more investigative bent to it, I think would be interesting, and I think like that would play into it relatively well. Like we have to like get information on what's going on before we can just
pretty much all of them have been set up so that there will be investigation required. As you guys know, from playing with me in the past, I've always had trouble with cities, except for when I did Toshi Rambo. I thought I did really well with that city, so I wanted to try and take it to the next level and really build a city that will be more interactive, and that's where this challenge came to be. So I have like a lot of stuff for you guys to interact with, and I'm working on hopefully writing out a full primer that I can publish. So that will be kind of cool. I'm working on talking with an artist right now about doing some artwork and figuring out how much I can afford because it will be out of my pocket. But I think that would be kind of a fun thing to do. So
yeah, I'd be down for that.
Definitely cool. I will write all these down and put into a Google document, and then I'll get them posted, probably not to this video, but one of our videos once it's fully written out. That way people can see kind of what I had in mind as far as things go. So are we all cool with the idea of eliminating crime within the city as being our purpose? Or do we want it to be a little bit more specific than that?
No, I like the broad but specific idea of eliminating crime, because that
I like-
also allows us to not all be the best character, but we have our own reason for eliminating
Mhm.
crime.
I like the eliminating crime thing. I would think I'd be more like I like the idea. I think I'd be more invested in the story if we were like if we all came together on the guise of eliminating crime, but we meet each other and through getting to know each other realize that there's a reason that we specifically were picked for this. That there's a certain thing that we were actually sent here to fix.
Okay.
I feel like at the least, like at the beginning, there's sort of this unspoken objective between all of us, like make sure our individual clan comes out on top of this.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely that. Like your daimos will be like, okay, you're going here to handle this special project that I've worked with other daimos to do. But while you're there, I want you to find out everything you can so that we can use it as tools to our advantage.
Go bring me some dirt.
Which I think will be a very cool dynamic for you and the NPCs. So let me pull up the 20 questions here. So we've got an idea of the clan that Murdoch will be playing, unless he's posing as someone else, which is an important question.
No, I am not posing as someone else.
Okay. Because of the
exactly what
nature
it
of this game, I'm going to ask you all the same thing. Are you here as yourself, or are you posing as someone else? Because it would be entirely within the realm of this specific task to have fake IDs if you wanted to.
So, because of what you said earlier, Chris, and I've decided if you're willing to help me,
Okay.
I want to go with the sumo wrestler, because I'm going to take that option while I can.
So I joked about it. The sumo wrestler, I don't think can be done very well with the beta. I will say that.
Damn it.
Because you're going to end up with like Kehoe stuff mostly, and it's kind of limited towards like the stuff that I would think a sumo should have. Like there's some cool ones. Like there's one of them that it's actually a kata that I would suggest that when you make an unarmed strike, you can change an opponent's stance, which I thought was a really cool kata. I was going to take it for my Dojo actually.
Yeah. You think that would just not work out? Or it'd be too combat focused?
I would need more time to really look over everything to decide if that would work or not.
All right.
But I think it will be hard considering what we've been given so far.
So I don't intend on posing as anybody else, but I will be posing, or I've already spoken to you what I will be hiding as, slash what my character is, so things will be a little different there. I will also be seen, I'm going undercover since I will be a Harrier, so I will be probably a Kakita duelist or a courtier, depending on how you want to handle it, how we built the school.
Totally fine. So let's kind of start on the 20 questions here. So who are you actually is kind of the first bit here. Who is your clan actually for real? Like even if you're hiding it.
Who are you for reals?
Let's start with Jeremy. You said that you may be interested in a samurai or a sumo, but what was the other thing that you talked about?
The Kasuga Smuggler, which is Tortoise Clan.
I think the Smuggler will provide you more of an interesting character.
Yeah, I figured it would too.
I think we're just going to be a bunch of like dirty, rotten scumbags.
Not necessarily a good person, and you were sent here to clean up crime that you probably benefited from in the past.
Whoa. The reason, I'll tell you this. The way I see it is this, right? It's more not. I'm not here to clean up crime. I'm here to change who runs the crime.
Yeah.
So I'm going to clean up crime, sure, because these other, and I'm going to use, and I'm here with other people who want to clean up the crime too. Yeah, let's just help get rid of my enemies.
Yep. So the Tortoise Clan, which I'm trying to remember their family name.
Kasuga.
Yeah.
Kasuga. I don't know if I can pronounce.
Kasuga.
Yeah, they only have one family. They have a vassal family also, but the main family is Kasuga. Kasuga.
Kasuga. Okay. They would be Dragon Guard City, if I remember right. No, they are mainly at. Okay, I see where they are. So I'm going to ping on the map where they should be. They're going to be like down in this kind of region. If I'm looking at the map correctly. No, they're near Otosan-ichi. Never mind.
Yeah.
They're like way up here. Actually, right here. That's one of them.
Yeah, we'll just use that one. That's a good one.
That is 90 on the map, if I'm looking at it correctly. It's pretty small.
Yeah.
So let's see here. What did they have in 4th edition? Where's this about the family meta? Here we go.
I have the 4th edition book up just because I was looking at it.
It looks like they're more of an imperial family. So, okay. I have an idea of how they could be done.
Let's see. The Kasuga are as true to the imperial cause as any other clan, though one often wouldn't know this from watching their activities. They perform illegal acts with murderers and thieves and have established a strong connection to the criminal cartels across the land. The Tortoise are in fact monitoring these conspiracies in the lands in the Emperor's name to make sure the safety of the Empire is not at stake. They also conduct extensive trade in foreign lands in order to ensure that the Gaiden cannot again threaten Rokugan as they did in the past. The Kasuga smugglers must mingle with the dirty criminal riffraff of the Empire, and their abilities reflect that need. They are knowledgeable of the underworld and are ruthless in all their dealings. In their fight against the worst of Rokugan, the Kasuga smuggler finds allies wherever he can. A virtuous peasant is a huge asset to a man who is often outnumbered and surrounded on all sides by cutthroats.
Okay.
So they're not actually criminals in the same sense.
Yeah. I think as a Tortoise Clan member, a ring increase, and I want this to be kind of a discussion. I think water or fire would be good. Water is about change and adaptability. Fire is more about passion. And I think both of those are pretty good options.
As a family, as a clan, I would say water.
As the clan. You think water probably would be better?
I think the adaptability is more because as a clan, they definitely focus more on being able to fit with the underworld. So they have to always adapt and fit in and adjust their strategies.
Yeah, the underworld is a never-changing place, so they have to be able to keep up.
Okay, so let's say a +1 to your water, and for your skill, I would say that is probably a +1 to seafaring. I think your whole family is all about it.
Yeah, they're not like the mantis, whatever the alliance. I forget the alliance name.
Yeah,
they're not like them. They're not like the big seafarers, but they definitely know how to work the riverways.
Okay. So going over the stuff that you had talked about, there's like one tenet of Bushido that you are strong with, and one that you kind of consider to be less than the others. Let me pull the list from Bushido here and see what kind of fits. I think duty is probably going to be the one that you're strong in.
Yeah.
And from what I remember of the Tortoise Clan, I think righteousness might be your lesser, because righteousness, it's about like justice, injustice, truth, and falsehood. So it's kind of the replacement of what used to be honesty before.
Yeah,
I think that might be a good one. Or
I like a skewing.
Maybe it's just sincerity, integrity. Then.
Say it again, Nate.
I like righteousness actually, because righteousness to me is more of a hard line definition between what is good and evil, what is right and what is wrong. And you don't have hard lines. You are entirely gray area.
Yeah, that's why I was kind of leaning towards righteousness.
I think that makes the most sense. Because you don't have to lie to make your way in the underworld. You just have to do things that may or may not be, good.
Yeah.
I can't technically disagree with that.
As far as your special things, like your specialized knowledge, You have a general awareness of the politics within the Tortoise clans. You know the family major heads or major family heads, leaders, and their respective positions and alliances. You can identify ships by appearance and flags. That's going to be like your special Tortoise clan thing. So like when you see a ship on the horizon, you know who the ship is, who its last captain was according to Imperial record. And you can immediately tell if there's something like kind of off about them, let's say. Kind of like if they're flying the wrong colors, or maybe their flags are out of order, or they shouldn't be operating in this area. That's stuff that you would just know.
Yeah.
So that's identifying ships will be like point 2. Knowing if a ship is doing something incorrectly or possibly wrong, that will be point 3. And then your third point will be you are aware of some secret smuggling routes as a clan. Even if you weren't like one of the smugglers, your whole clan is pretty much aware of some of the smuggling routes based upon what your clan does. So it also leads you to know people in the underworld. So there are some NPCs that I'm going to start off with and say, hey, this is an NPC. This is what they do. What do you want their relationship with you currently to be? Because you would have had some dealings within Toshijito no Kawa before this.
Yeah. Or at
Perfect.
least know people who know people.
Yeah.
All right. So
I think that covers who your clan is.
yeah.
Let's do your family next. You're going to be a smuggler.
Yeah.
So
there's
there's only one family. So
there's family, and then there's the school.
So based upon what I said originally, I think fire might be a good one for your second ring because it's about passion. I think commerce and
I'll be back in a bit.
Yeah.
Skullduggery.
let's go with commerce and labor. I think are probably good for your
No, skullduggery would be under the actual school itself, Nate.
No,
Okay,
not commerce and labor. Let's go with commerce and fitness.
Commerce and beep beep beep.
I can definitely see fitness.
Yeah, let's go with
I can
commerce and
definitely
fitness.
say beep beep beep.
It's a good skill to have.
Okay. Your status. Let me look at some of the other statuses here real quick. Because I don't think it's going to be very high. It should be less than the major clans. So let me look.
I can definitely agree. There was a status thing that pointed out where the status of minor clan would be.
Ooh, you are
Double check
correct.
on the chart.
I wonder.
I know there's a chart. It's glory.
Let's see, character rings. Here's
There
the
it is. I got
chart.
status. I got it.
Here we go.
Average minor clan samurai, 25 to 29.
Okay, I was going to say 25. I think that's a good place for you to be at.
Because the average great clan samurai would be 30 to 39.
Yep.
So I'm just like below that.
I think 25 should be it because the lowest great clan is a 30 for their start.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They're all 30 or 35.
Just so you know, Chris, that's page 25.
Yeah, I've got it actually open.
And then a little bit above that is
And it's the
glory in honor.
The Emperor.
I'm probably going to be like 40 to
I
44.
think you're probably going to
for
start
glory.
at 35 for your glory.
One infamy disadvantage. Jeez.
No, 35. You do not have an infamy yet.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I was reading that wrong. Right.
Yeah.
Just because of the
I was
nature of
tempted
being
to drop you down there, but I don't really want you to start with an infamy die.
No, I mean I get it. I mean, you can say that being where you're putting me right there is is just the basic reputation of a tortoise clan. Like most other clans will accept my reputation, because I know that was a big thing. Like a lot of because of what the smugglers do, most of them are left alone by other samurai. But at the same time, doesn't mean that their reputation is good.
Yeah, so I think a 35 is fair. All right, so next down the row is Murdoch.
Hi.
Crane Kikita?
Yeah.
Okay.
Surprise.
That should be easy. I'm sure you filled in stuff already.
That should be done. The only thing is school for him. Nate, go ahead.
Oh, me. I'm gonna go with the Crab Clan.
Okay.
Ooh.
I am from
your family?
the Hiruma family.
Okay, cool.
Nate, please tell me you're still going to try to be an investigator. The crab investigator.
Hell yeah, Hiruma investigator.
I
got a little story.
Witch Hunter.
I got a little story for him too. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Is Tom still with us? I see a mute. There he is, Tom.
Tom is always with us in our hearts.
Whether we know it or not.
Even when I go to the bathroom, I'm always there, watching.
Clan and
Your
family
bathroom.
creeper, Tom.
Well, I didn't really have anything like terribly unique or complicated or to make like my own school or anything. But I figured this time I was going to go with the Unicorn Clan, and I'd try the Ayuchi family.
Yes.
Okay.
They're good.
I forget what
Just
they
a
are.
quick question, because I'm getting ahead of myself and I'm kind of excited. Are you going to be one of the their Shugenjas?
Yes, I am.
Cool.
Yes.
Cool.
Shugenjas are so weird.
I practice weird and heathenistic ways.
He
Mhm.
actually chants magic from books.
Eh,
What the hell is wrong with you?
would you like my talismans? No, that doesn't even how.
Why do you use wands?
What's
So-
that stick you're carrying? It's dirty.
So the unicorn we haven't talked about before is about their cultural knowledge. You have a general awareness of the unicorn policies, blah, 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 like everybody else does for their specific clan. You also have basic facts about life in foreign lands, particularly the Burning Sands, Ivory Kingdoms, and beyond. Even if you haven't been there yourself, you know at least a few foreign words from numerous languages, such as Mekam, Ivindi, Bantu, Portuga, and might be fluently speaking one of those languages, if not a language wholly unknown to the Empire. That is a personal choice. If you want to have like a language that nobody else speaks just for the funsies, you can.
He can speak an ancient dead language.
Yep.
French.
I was gonna say French.
Yeah.
Portuga is Portuguese,
Mhm.
basically. And you know the basics of mounted combat along with other various aspects of properly handling and care of horses. For your strong feature, it's compassion. Your weak feature of Bushido is
Courtesy.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Which is mainly because you guys practice a courtesy that doesn't make sense to the rest of the Empire.
Weirdos.
We shake hands. It's super strange.
Stop touching my hand.
And they eat meat. Weird.
Ugh.
Like,
Well, the man-
like red meat.
I remember that was a thing in the last game. That was kind of fun. I got to introduce everyone to the Mantis family, and we were eating like game.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Who wants Mongolian barbecue?
Mongolian barbecue.
The Akita was
next
like, no,
is-
thank you.
The next is role in school. For those of you that are playing a school that it does not exist yet, we'll discuss like what you start with, but I'll build your school after the fact. And I'll submit it to you with some ideas if I have anything that I don't think like really is like in between, like for the techniques. And I'll do that probably over the next week or so. I have 2 home shows this weekend, so I'm going to be pretty busy. But I will try to have it ready. That way we can start on Monday pretty much. So the next question I have for you guys, which is kind of out of order. Since we built with 24 experience before, do we want to start with some experience, or do we want to start at like, you just passed your Genpaku ceremony, now you're going to a foreign land? The reason I bring it up is I don't think that Genpaku ceremony makes sense for this kind of adventure. I think you guys would have experience under your belts.
They wouldn't. I don't see them like sending brand new samurai just for this. It just doesn't make sense. Now, if we were doing like some of the other ones, like the cartographers, or maybe the what's it called?
Yeah.
Most of the other ones fit.
I think doing 24 experience on this again will make the most sense.
Okay.
I think we should have over 9,000 experience.
Yes.
I
agree with
masters in your school.
Annoyingly, I agree with the Kakita.
How dare you?
So let's talk about roles and school. We are talking out of character, so if you are a ninja, feel free to admit you are a ninja.
No ninja would freely admit that they're a ninja. Unless you're a ninja, because you're from the Crab Clan.
But I do need to know
Not
what your
wrong.
cover story is if you're opposing as one. So we have a smuggler, which, if I remember right, they function mostly as courtiers. I'll have to look at.
Yeah, they're courtiers.
Yeah.
That's right. I'm trying a courtier out,
Oh man.
but I'm trying the least courtier.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
That's literally what they are.
For your school benefits, let's see here. You get 2 ring increases. I think water and earth are probably the most logical. I say earth because I think that your school would probably try and round out your skill set a little bit more.
I mean, you'd have to be a little bit tough to handle most of the underworld, so I don't see why that wouldn't be a problem.
Let me take a look here. It looks like the amount of skills kind of is dependent upon what you end up doing. Looks like monks get 4, bushi get 5, or sorry, courtiers get 5, bushi get 5,
I think it's all
and
school
Shigenja get
specific.
3.
Yeah, it looks like it's more or less school. I do agree. I think it's school specific.
Yeah, but I'm looking at it, and it looks like for the most part, bushi get 5, courtiers get 5. The one monk has 4.
Yeah, and 2 to choose from too.
The Shugenjas generally have 3, it looks like. The ninja has 5 as well. So we'll kind of use that as kind of our basics. So let's talk about your skill increases. You will have 5 to choose from. I'm just going to go down the list and pick out some random shit off of the character sheet.
I really think skullduggery should be there.
I think skullduggery is on the list. Let me go down the list here for artisan schools.
It looks like courtiers get options from about 7 or 8.
I think smithing would be on your list.
All right.
Fitness, martial arts, melee, tactics, command,
Courtesy.
survival. Yeah, courtesy. I was kind of on the fence about that one. Let's go ahead and say
He's a smuggler. He needs to know how to,
yeah.
schmooze his way into places.
I was literally about to say schmooze his way around.
Courtesy makes sense. Survival, sentiment, because that's basically being able to feel out other people's emotions and stuff. I think that's a good asset for a smuggler.
I agree.
Commerce, labor, seafaring. And so survival actually is listed on 2 sets of skills.
So the survival is actually supposed to be culture. It's a typo.
Oh, okay. So culture should be under skills then.
So scholar skills, yes.
Or scholar skills, yeah. I think culture makes sense actually in survival. So that would be the list of options. You can pick up to 5 of those. And it will be a +1 to those 5 that you select.
Take skullduggery 5 times.
You cannot take the same thing more than once, by the way.
Dang it.
It's all depending on how much I want to go into being the smuggler.
So next up is the ninja from Daidoji Harrier. What is your cover, by the way? Just be curious. You said that you were thinking about a couple different options.
I'm a Kikita, so I'm thinking either courtier or duelist. It depends on how you want to build the school. The Harriers, if you want to focus more on the scout and the honorable tactics they use, because they focus strictly on military tactics, and it's more of a romanticized shinobi is an expert killer and spy. Or if you're going for the more for the spy part, so if you're going for more for the expert killer and spy, probably a duelist. If you're going more for the spy, then courtier would be my cover.
The Daidoji Harriers in the past have always been portrayed as like courtiers with a spy network that they maintain. It's more about like feeding information where it best suits them. It's like tactically using information. So I think that the school is going to align itself more. The
way that I read it is they only utilize their techniques in battle. They are mainly serve as scouts, saboteurs, and surveillance. So, like as I was reading this stuff, so I was thinking that they're probably more of the scout, right, than the courtier. But if you want to go with courtier, that's fine too.
Okay. I'm thinking of the Harriers during the time that right before they were disbanded with the Scorpion coup, they pretty much they led
became
to
the spy masters.
Yeah, they basically became the spy masters. So I think that the world is in a transition period right now.
Yeah, the Daidoji Harriers.
So that becomes kind of the question. Do you think that you would have the classically trained Daidoji Harrier, or do you think you'd have kind of this one that's transitioning into the new world?
Since we're not coming out of our Genpaku ceremony, probably the old school.
Okay, good. So that lets me know how I should suggest things here. So, for your rings.
Okay. As I looked at the Bushi school, the Diplomat school, and the only ninja school in the book, they all have one ring in common, and that's air.
I was going to say, I think air should be it. And
void for secrets?
I don't think anything gets like a plus to void.
Nothing gets void. Void is a really important, like hard to achieve or hard to get thing. So I'm not going to do that one.
Literally the only two things I've looked at have gotten void bonuses.
The other one I was thinking about was Earth. Doesn't really impact me as much as I can think that it would. It's just a matter of the kind of the old stalwart.
Let me look at a character sheet real quick because I'm trying to remember what covers your composure. Composure is fire and earth. And focus is air and fire. Because I'm thinking about what your derived stats are and what a Harrier probably is strongest in. I think it would be fire. The Daidoji family themselves is pretty much bound to duty. They're very fanatical about it.
It's fine.
Actually, the duelist already has fire, right?
No, the duelist has earth and air. The shinobi is is air and fire, and the Daidoji school is air and water.
Okay, so yeah, then fire works.
Okay,
because they should be rounding out the rest of the family as well. Air and water, earth and air. Yeah, it's probably gonna be air and fire. I think that's the best.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. For Jeremy, your techniques available. I think it should be katas, shuji, and rituals, just like most of the courtiers have.
Yeah.
I'm going to pick out a list of options for your shujis because I think you should start with one, and then you'll have like it'll be like pick one and get one kind of thing, like the Dojo Diplomat is essentially.
Yeah. Yeah, I was in the middle of looking at my the shuji, just to see if any made sense.
I think Shallow Waters makes sense because I know what that one does. That's the one that lets you see what people's ninjo is.
Let me see that. All right, I'll look at that.
I think that's probably going to be on your list of choose, but we'll come to that later.
Yeah.
And then I'll come up with your school ability, your honor. I think it's going to be a 40.
All right. Sounds good.
Okay, for the Daidoji Harrier. So we've done your rings, your skill increases. Let's see. Going down the list. What do you think? I'm having trouble deciding which it should be. I've got aesthetics and composition in mind from the artisans.
I would think composition for reports,
That's what I'm
ciphers.
kind of thinking too. Yeah, let's go with aesthetics.
Aesthetics or composition?
Or sorry, composition rather.
Okay.
And then for martial skills, you would have fitness, martial arts melee, martial arts ranged, meditation, or sorry, not meditation, tactics. Social, courtesy, games, because I don't think there's enough schools that have games, and I think that's a very good choice for you to have. Culture.
Yep.
Sentiment. And I'm sorry, Jeremy, I skipped skullduggery. That's on your list as well. I'm realizing that there's a couple things
you didn't skip that.
on here. I think skullduggery is on your list as well, Murdoch.
Okay.
I don't think it's something that your school like emphasizes, but it's definitely taught.
Fair.
And then you guys are scouts, so I think survival would be on there as well.
Okay.
Nate?
Me?
How many can I choose from those that you gave me? 5?
5. That's what the other ninja has, so we'll stick with that.
Okay.
What's your school?
I'm the Kitsuki investigator.
Okay. Just real quick, so I have some knowledge. What happened?
So, I haven't thought of a name yet. My character was the second born of a pair of twins. Seen as a bad omen, and I haven't figured out exactly the details, but was basically shipped all the way across the empire, so bad luck wouldn't,
Befall the crab.
wouldn't befall the crab.
Okay. So that means that your parents probably have some good relationship with the dragon.
Mhm.
And they were cashing in favors basically to make this happen. So that may be something that you want to think about because there are dragon characters that are in the city as NPCs, and some of them may be aware of your training. If it's not given away by the way your character dresses, it may be like showing up in like the way that they act and stuff like that.
Oh, you probably will be. That's how I'm thinking. He's kind of blunt. He's crab at heart.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he was. So I like to think that at some point in the past there was a joint task force between the investigators and the Haruma clan because they are scouts as well.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't figured out the details yet, but I thought that that could work out.
Okay. And then for Tom, you were going to be Shugenja playing the
Aichi Shodo Master School.
Shodo Masters. There we go. So you make weird totems that only seem to work for you?
Actually, like according to like my school ability, I can make them work for other people. Like I can make talismans and give them to my party members, and they can use invocations.
They need to be other Shugenja.
Ah,
yeah,
damn.
Yeah, I was pissed when I found that out. I was like, that's like.
I think
the
it's
best.
That it has to be other Shugenja.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Just because it's not useful to you.
No,
that's why I have an issue with it right now. It's because
Chris.
like you would have no other Shugenja in your party.
yeah, that's what it, like when we first started Create for Murdoch Game, I looked at that and I was like, I love the idea of this entire school, but its class ability doesn't make sense because at best you may get lucky enough to have one other Shugenja in your party. That's it. It's like they should just make the check because it says it gives a check for the other Shugenja to use. They should just make the check harder for non-Shugenja.
I do like that the talisman basically makes it to where it's easier for you to cast, and so it does make sense giving it to another Shugenja to make it easier for them to cast. Because the talisman itself doesn't actually cast the spell; it just eases the process of casting spells.
Definitely true.
I mean, it would be useful if you decide to like give it to somebody as a gift, but to the party, it won't really work so well.
I'm kind of amused by the idea of my character going, no, seriously, these things totally work. It's like, yeah, right. And no one believes me.
And they just don't. Like, we can't, like...
It's like,
yeah,
we're
We're just not good enough to
and then
learn.
we'll readdress it if it becomes something that we really want to get some use out of. Okay. So the next bit is to pick how you differ from your school. That is on page 38. But basically, you get a +1 to a ring of your choice.
Void!
I was going to say, this is one of the opportunities to get your Void ring.
No, I was like, the only clans and stuff I've looked at were amongst some others, but I looked at the Phoenix, and Phoenix just get a Void ring, which is like, apparently, that's like, whoa.
Yeah, that's why the Phoenix are special.
Yeah, pick up Phoenix, make him Tagashi, make him the mug. You get 3 Void to start for free. You'd be the weirdest character ever.
You say weird, I say also weird because why not?
It's Phoenix. I can't even wrap my head around that guy. Like that's just too weird for me.
He's like, I've given up on life. I practice the Void. That's what I do.
He has white tattoos instead of black tattoos.
So, with that in mind, Jeremy, what do you think that your difference point will be in?
So I was looking at them and I'm like, water fits, but I can't actually choose that one because I'm already at my max for water.
Think about that. Actually, if you go above your max, you can just put that wherever.
Yeah.
So don't worry about that. Just pick what you feel like is good for the character.
So, I mean, if adaptability, friendliness, and awareness is what you portrayed,
yeah,
that's fine. But instead, because you went past it, you've got a +1 to air or whatever the case is.
I don't. That's the thing is, I don't know what I mean. I might as well just choose Void because it's never a bad thing to choose.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because I'm gonna go with that. I'm gonna choose Void.
Okay, Ninja's going with Void as well.
Yep. Well,
Okay.
am I the only actual ninja?
Yep.
Fuck all y'all.
I mean, there is a smuggler who's fairly close.
Yeah, I'm a smuggler. I mean, at least like unlike everybody else here trying to be goody two shoes, I at least understand the placement of the world.
I am a Haruma Scout that claims to be from Dragonlands, which is like, it's a weird story. It doesn't make any sense. There must be something behind it.
Yeah, but you're from the dragon and the crab clans. Nobody cares.
And Tom's basically a foreigner.
Yeah, basically.
We're definitely all ninjas.
I'm a smuggler. I don't care about foreigners, okay? They bring in money too.
Let's see. Next is part 3, the honor and glory. Is there anything that I missed that I needed to fill in for you guys? I think I missed Murdoch's honor. Is that correct?
Yes.
Let me look at what the Scorpion gets.
30.
Yeah, let's do 32.
I will let it be known that
Oh, wait. You guys are like scouts and stuff. Let's do like...
we're actually honorable. It's one of the things, our traits that we're known for.
Let's do like 35.
35. So 45 honor it is.
Where are you getting the extra 10 from?
Upholding Bushido.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's the next part here. Honor and glory. So, what is your character's duty? This is the Geary part. We kind of talked about that earlier. And now that we have an idea of what the game's about, you guys can write your Geary and your ninjos to reflect the idea of being an Oto Todaki to eliminate crime in the city. I love that we just made L5R superheroes.
Hold on. What? How did we make?
We made a bunch of L5R Batman.
I'm not Batman.
Or what was the recent comment? What, we are Robin? Isn't that what it was? Where there was like a shit ton of Robins or something like that?
I don't know this. I'm missing something here.
Yeah, I don't.
There was a Batman comic. I want to say it came out like last year. It was either We Are Batman or We Are Robin, and it was basically like an army of people that were dressed as one of the two, and basically trying to clean up the whole city as like a big fucking gang.
I love you, Chris, but come on. I don't know where the hell this is going.
That's basically what you guys are. A gang
Okay.
attempting to clean up the city.
So we're the Bat family?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Put them down.
Put him down.
It's We Are Robin. Because I had to answer my own question. All right. So with that in mind, do any of you have like a Geary or a ninja that stands out as something that you want to do?
Well, I would say that my Geary specifically is to seek out new and exotic forms of supernatural creatures or phenomena. Because the whole thing about the unicorn is finding all that new stuff.
Finding the next hotness.
Yep. Yeah. I got talismans. Next up, I hear there are good things about wands.
I also know my Geary. This was a character that became a lot easier when I put this. To clean up the criminal underworld and restarted anew because what's going on now sucks. And yeah.
So your Geary is probably going to be a little bit more straightforward about like taking down the criminal syndicates.
It's more or less, it's not exactly about taking him down because I feel like, I feel like Tortoise can accept the fact that there's always going to be criminals. It's more about which criminals are in charge, which will benefit the Imperial family.
Okay, I like that. That's pretty much how the Jade Magistrates were looking at it too.
Yeah. So like, I feel like people have been upstarting. So they've sent someone into, well, let's try to figure out what's going on and how we can best fix the problem and install, if need be, instill, new criminal families.
Okay. So That's a pretty good Gary. I like that. Okay, I can work with that. Let's kind of explore that a little bit further. What would be your ninja?
That's
your ninja
my
way.
personal thing was the harder part on this.
Okay.
Because I mean, I knew what my duty was. That was not in question.
Well, let me ask you: does your character believe in his duty's purpose? Like, is he on board with the idea of take control of the criminal underworld?
He feels like he's not important enough to take control himself, but he does feel pride in knowing that he has the ability to he's been chosen to choose essentially who's gonna take over the criminal underworld, which will also lead to him having new contacts, which may help him in the future.
So maybe your ninja is something along the lines of like let's see, maybe it's something like let me find the list here.
Yeah, the list is a decent list, but it's not perfect.
Okay, so maybe your ninja is something like I will establish a great network of contacts and spies, or something like that. That basically, like, you could have something like your purpose is to become a major person that your daimyo goes to for information, something like that.
Yeah, that definitely sounds close to what I was trying to get at.
Okay, Murdoch, you got some ideas
For my Gary?
Yeah, and this doesn't have to be in stone. You guys can get that to me before we start, and that way I can write stuff down.
We're not in the middle of war, so but I would say that the clan champion kind of, this is war because the way that politics work.
Mm-hmm.
And basically the prestige of cleaning up this town would be great. So I went with infiltrator, to infiltrate the underworld and kind of, I won't say fix it from within, but understand how it works to root it out.
Okay. So give me like one sentence that summarizes what you're going for your Gary. Because the idea is that it's written out as like a sentence that I can use, basically.
One sentence that would
like your Gary could be something like I will cleanse Toshijito no Kawa of its criminal element to bring honor to my clan, something like that.
Yeah, but it's not necessarily to bring honor to the clan.
The other way that you can think about it is what did your daimyo actually tell you to do? So if that's a little easier, that could be it.
Protect the clan's honor, realistically, because they're sending a Harrier to come here, which is like difficult to get away with. Why are you sending this person?
I like that. I may change some family names on my NPCs. That way that comes up a little bit more.
So realistically, it'll be, protect the clan honor by rooting out the evil.
Okay. How about your ninja way?
My ninja way?
Mm-hmm. Because you actually have one of those.
I'll be the greatest ninja ever.
Whoa, that's very easy. Kill all the other ninjas.
Yeah, there.
You gotta find him first.
That would make him the greatest ninja.
Yeah.
It literally is a problem that solves itself.
And
It will be
perpetuate.
solved.
Huh?
I said it will be solved.
It will be solved. Does that mean that at the end I have to kill myself, though? Because then I will have legitimately killed all of the other ninja. As far as my ninja way here, I would say that my ninja way is gaining a wife.
Okay. Do you want... So to complicate things further, do you want someone for rank, honor, glory, or do you want someone for love, or do you want someone for tactical purposes?
Yes.
Why not all three?
It could be all three, which
Why not?
means that your list is pretty small. Of
Why not
considerable
Tom's wife?
All three.
Okay.
Here's the thing, though, is because of what we have previously discussed. That is why it has been so difficult.
Okay.
Hmm.
For Nate, do you have an idea of what your Geary is going to be?
Yes, I've been tasked with identifying and I guess uprooting the leaders, specifically the leaders of the criminal underworld, not just gangs here and there, and to prevent crime from resurging once we've left, because for some reason it always seems to.
Yeah, definitely true of the city.
Like you can root out crime and you can increase security and all that, but eventually corruption seeps its way back in. It's my job to find the underlying source of it all.
Okay. So for Tom?
I'm sorry, we're talking about Geary or
We'll start with Geary.
right. Well, like I said earlier, my Geary is basically to seek out as many new and novel supernatural phenomenon as possible for my lord, because basically we're in the process of cataloging as many different things as we can.
What about your Nindo or Ninjo? I really wish they would have chose a different term so I didn't mess it up constantly.
Yeah. How to put this?
In words.
Yeah. She seeks to make things orderly, to put it in a very general sense. There is a lot of chaos, and like the natural world is kind of messy and causes a lot of harm and suffering. So she wants to make things nice and orderly and tidy.
Are you a practitioner of feng shui?
I picked it up while wandering outside of Rupion.
Nice.
Yeah.
You wake up in the morning, she's like rearranging the furniture.
In the tent that we take down in the morning.
It's very important.
I skipped over your ninja. Did you have one, Nate?
I'm thinking of one. I don't know if it works because there's not a whole lot of conflict with the duty thing.
Just say it, Nate.
He wants to establish, because there's always a
So my thought is either you could conflict with each other, with yourselves, and with the city. So long as there's some conflict somewhere that I can work with.
Oh, I definitely think there's conflict somewhere then.
Okay.
So his personal goal is to establish so the city already has like this grimy underworld and secret spy information networks therein. He wants to establish one that is honorable and trustworthy, so that they can better combat the sources of skullduggery within the city.
That fits with me so perfectly, Nate.
Okay. So opinions of clan. If you believe in your clan, you get +5 glory. If you disbelieve, you get special skills. So let's go down the line. Jeremy, do you believe in your clan's blah, blah, blahs?
Of course.
Okay.
Do you believe in your clan's blah blah blahs?
Yep. Murdoch?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Nate?
So my clan, do you mean the crab or the dragon?
That would be the crab.
The
Your
crab.
clan.
Crap.
My
You said you're a crab at heart.
Yeah, crab at heart. So courage and all
Well,
things.
this actually answers the question of what he is at heart. Is he a crab or is he a dragon?
No, that's what I'm saying. He said earlier he's a crab at heart. So I'm just saying.
Yeah, crab at heart, courage in all things. Don't fear the outcome. Just do what you have to do.
Okay. So then you'll take the glory then.
Mhm.
And for Tom?
Yes.
Okay. Glory all around. You get some glory. You get some glory. You all get some glory.
crap.
Glory
Now
on
we have to
you.
fucking pay taxes.
Glory on your family.
Oprah's passing out glory here. What do you think of Bushido? Do you follow it? If so, plus 10 honor. If not, you get a skill. So tenets of Bushido for Jeremy.
I was thinking about that, and I was thinking like with especially the way they skirt the line. I would think that following Bushido would be very important for them, because how else will they maintain their true, what is it, ideal, even with all the temptations that the criminal underworld provides.
Okay,
How do they prevent themselves from falling into it?
Yeah.
that's fair. That's a
I
good
like
way.
that. I like that a lot.
So yeah, I think I would totally think he follows Bushido.
That's plus 10 honor for Murdoch.
Yes, he follows Bushido very, very rigidly.
Okay, plus 10 honor for Nate.
Still thinking about it, actually.
Come on,
Okay.
you want to be different.
For Tom.
No, the
Flat
unicorn
question,
are
man.
not known for like I said earlier, like being very courteous or following all of the proper like court mannerisms. And my favorite character like doesn't have much of an interest in that at all, so she never quite properly learned how to do all the courtesy stuff, and
Okay.
as such doesn't hold it very in high regard.
What skill did you pick up in your past that reflects this behavior? There's commerce, labor, medicine, seafaring, skullduggery, and survival.
Survival is actually normal for the unicorns, so I don't think I would fit. I went with labor. Like, she's willing to get her hands dirty.
Did you come to a conclusion, Nate, or do you want to move
Skip
on?
over this for now. I still need to look into like I just like this is all kind of offhanded for me. I'm really liking the character, but I got to look into the interactions of Crab and Dragon to see if that kind of fleshes out his opinion of the of Bushido as a whole.
They're both as clans. They're both fairly rigid to Bushido. Actually, the Dragon won't openly admit that, but they are, because they're the watchers of the Empire. So they have to have a working knowledge of Bushido, even if they purposely don't follow it all the time.
Agreed. And the Crab are very like straightforward.
Yeah.
And like I don't know. But the thing that straightforward sort of early life kind of comes into conflict with the Dragon's sort of almost whimsical nature. And so it's more a matter of his personal perspective on like would the Dragon's still staunch but very different approach to Bushido come into conflict with his early upbringing, and that's kind of what I'm trying to figure out.
Okay.
You're a prolapsed anus.
So with that in mind, strengths and weaknesses is the next part. What is your character's greatest accomplishment so far? This will give you a distinction advantage, which starts on page 61. Jeremy, do you have an idea of what story or advantage you want to use?
To be fair, I was not looking at that.
Okay.
Let's see if I can find one that fits. If you want to go to someone else who might know what they want already, that'd be to speed things along. I'll figure it out really fast.
My advantage or distinction? Precise memory.
Okay. Do you have a story that goes with it just yet, or are you just going to pick that one for now and fill in the blanks?
Oh, no, I have a story. So he going to school, this character was very much a I have to study, I have to study, I have to study, I have to do this. And they took so much time to learn different techniques to memorize things and understand things like mnemonics and coming up with different ways, that it became kind of an inherent thing in everything that they do. So they remember things very blatantly.
Okay. Nate, do you have an idea of your greatest accomplishment so far?
I feel like his greatest accomplishment is just overcoming the stigma of him having been a part of a twin and earning enough respect within the family or within his school to be sent on this sort of task.
So what's your distinct advantage that you have in mind?
I'm still looking.
Let's take a look here.
Penises.
Yes, that is my distinction. I just dropped Trow and they were like, all right, he's good. Send him. I think these are disadvantages. I think maimed arm is a disadvantage.
It is.
Famously reliable might be one.
Okay. I kind of like that.
Or maybe famously successful even. Lucky for that matter, if you wanted to go that direction.
Nah. I like is the reliable is the earth one and successful is fire?
Yeah.
Okay.
Seasoned might be a good one.
I like reliable.
One that I like because you're a twin is Sixth Sense. It has nothing to do with what you talked about. I just think it's funny when you give twins weird shit.
You know what? I actually really like that. I like that. We go Sixth Sense.
Sixth Sense lets you basically you can sense Kami, which is pretty cool.
Oh, that's actually really cool. Yeah.
Supernatural beings in the area.
That actually makes a lot of sense as an investigator. That's one of the reasons I'm so successful.
So you have an instinctive sense of supernatural beings, and you can feel the presence of spirits and similar beings even when they have not chosen to reveal themselves. So, like, if you were in front of, let's say, your clan's head, who's actually a kami, you probably know the truth of the matter, that he is not what he's perceiving or showing himself to be.
Mm-hmm.
Or sorry, not your clan, but the dragon clan.
Yeah. Which is like a huge secret.
Yeah, huge secret. Don't talk about that shit.
Yeah.
But the Dragon Clan's champion is a kami?
Their family figurehead is a kami, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He's basically rearranged his looks for generations and hid out with the dragon for a long time.
Does the dragon know this?
Oh yeah.
A few people do, yes.
A small like the up and ups. No.
Yeah.
And they're told to keep their lips shut.
Why is that, I wonder?
Because basically he's waiting and hiding for Fu Leng to return, and that he will help the mortals defeat Fu Leng. That's the whole basic idea. When performing a check for which you need the following hunches, such as Meditation Void to check to generate initiative during duel, or Theology Void to detect a snarl of the invisible threads in the universe, you may roll up to 2 dice during the assemble dice pool. Or re-roll, rather. So that's what Sixth Sense does for you. Tom, you got an idea of what your moment would be, and then we can find a thing to fit you?
Yeah. My character sought to basically secure the favor of an air kami across a certain plane to which some people were moving into. And as part of that, the kami, being a rather playful sort, agreed that it would give its favor so long as she caught him in a game of tag. So she had to like pursue an air kami across a plane for like 3 to 4 days, which was not easy. But eventually she managed to trick it and capture it. Well, tag it, really. To which, like, that was her greatest achievement. And as such, he has the Sixth Sense advantage, allowing her to have a greater sense for supernatural phenomenon with kami.
Okay. Let's see here. The next one is, or sorry, Jeremy, did you find something?
Well, since none of them really fit what I was going for, nothing that like I had directly off the top of my head, I went with one just for because I thought it was funny. And I'm gonna go with Blessed Lineage.
Okay. I was gonna say I think blackmail would work really well too, because you could have it on somebody in the city.
True, that was the other one I was thinking about. Because because I was looking at some of the ones that had either, you know, like I was also looking at ally, and then there was the other one that had a group of people. And I was really just struggling between blackmail and blessing. Those are the ones I really came down to thinking about. But it's like, maybe it's because of me as a person. I'm just not good with, you know, thinking about blackmail stuff.
Right.
Just I wouldn't know what best to use it, how best to use it properly.
Okay.
I feel like I would put it to waste.
So with blessed lineage, basically you get an advantage whenever there's a check that involves your bloodline, essentially.
Yeah.
But the other cool thing that I really considered when I made my Yojimbo character was characters with a status of 50 or higher understand that they might suffer prestige loss when they harm you, which makes you at like a do not touch target.
Yes, which is I thought was amusing because I love
too that it says that they choose not to kill you as their first option.
So the way I see it is like I'm very, 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 very distantly related, but still traceable back to the Imperial family itself.
Which works with your clan. So
yeah,
it's good.
And yeah, he's nothing special other than that.
Okay.
That's his only real claim to fame.
So what holds your character back most in life? This is where the specific adversities comes from on page 68. So, Jeremy, do you have an idea of what holds you back in life most?
I know I had one. What was it?
You know you want to give me blackmail.
That would be hilarious.
I love that there's like a whole series of them that's like damaged blank body part.
Yeah.
I look at its heart or organ.
Crap, I can't remember what it was. I know
a bunch of missing things, fractured spine. Like there's a bunch of brutal ones that like totally make sense for the set.
Yeah.
The problem with those is they cripple the campaign if enough people in your campaign take it.
Most of them don't seem as negatively impactful as I would think. Like fractured spine isn't like you're a cripple in a wheelchair and you can't move by yourself. Like it's just it's an old injury that has since healed. But
no, I know what it is.
Doing hard labor. I think it'd be interesting for like a bunch of like honorable investigators to walk around and they're all like missing a limb.
I was gonna say that's a restricted campaign. Play as a bunch of crab warriors that are about to get retired forcibly from the wall.
We got to prove that we're still worth it.
That'd be kind of funny.
That'd be a cool campaign, actually. That'd be a cool Shadowlands game.
I can't remember which one I looked at. So give me a second.
Okay. Murdoch, you got an idea?
I do.
Okay.
Based on what we talked about before, everybody knows it's disturbing continence. Something about your face or your beauty is extremely off-putting to others.
So, weird question, because usually this comes up when this trope is played. Is it when you're in your regular form that people find it disturbing, or is it like all the time?
Basically, I want to put it off as striking beauty. Just makes people go, "What's going on here?" And then when they figure out that it's a trap, for anybody that cares, it's a trap. Because like I feel like that's a trope we haven't explored with L5R. That's like huge in Asian type culture stuff.
Yeah.
That once they figure out that it's a trap, they're kind of like, "Wow, you are disturbingly beautiful for a dude. That's weird. You're weird. Get out of here." Like that's it makes guys uneasy because they are still attracted, and it makes women uneasy because
they jealous.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I can do that. All right, Nate, you got an idea?
Yeah, I would like for his adversity and his, I guess, his anxiety or whatever this is. It comes from his personal conflicts between his upbringing. Like he feels he was kind of discarded, and he's really struggling to accept his place, but also to fight what he feels was a slight against him and undeserved.
Okay. So your adversity is going to be.
I'm still looking through them because we've been talking a lot.
Okay.
I like some of the whispers.
I think what you're talking about sounds like it might fall under the anxiety more likely.
Yeah, now that I'm thinking about it, yeah. Actually, that definitely is question number 12, not question number 10. So, Control X. I'll come back to you with 10.
Okay. For the anxieties, since we're kind of talking about it for your character, cynicism might be a good one. Dark secret.
Dark secret.
Something.
What details of your secret exposed publicly? Your glory decreases a lot.
Intolerance towards your clan could even be one.
Well, yeah.
Um,
Irresistible flirtation. Come here, Murdoch.
Yep.
Paranoia could work too.
I like paranoia, actually.
Okay.
That fits with the whole kind of with the Kitsuki thing too.
Okay. How about you, Tom? Do you have an idea of your specific disadvantage?
Yes, I was thinking Gaijin appearance.
Oh, because he's unicorn. Look at that.
Yeah,
He's a foreigner.
It's easy.
pretty much. Specifically, she looks Mongolian.
Okay.
That scared the
I
piss out of
forget
me.
the L5R analog, but there is one. They're like the native people that live to the north of
Shit.
Roshan.
We need to build a wall to keep up with the shitty Mongolians. It's gonna be the best wall, the Great Wall.
The shitty Mongolians.
It's gonna be a great wall.
And then we're gonna deport the Unicorn Clan.
Then we're gonna make the Unicorn Clan pay for it.
Yeah.
That's all right. I'm glad there's a unicorn, so I can get my Gaijin pepper bombs from somebody. That's actually a huge thing. That if anybody ever found out that the Harriers still used Gaijin pepper bombs, like the Harriers would be just killed off. It's
ousted.
yeah, no, it's an actual huge
Yeah,
secret within the Harriers.
Yeah, the Battle of White Stag basically said no fucking Gaijin pepper for anybody.
Yeah, but the Harriers still use it
Yep.
Neener.
against Imperial decree. Like we'd all be offed if it was found. So
Yeah.
Okay. So for question 11, what activity do you do to feel at peace? I actually really liked this one. It was kind of a weird question that I was just like, whatever, and I moved past it, but I really liked it when I came back to it. It's a small list, but.
Also, Chris, I finally came up with an adversity.
Okay, what'd you pick?
Well, mostly because I couldn't remember the other one, so I just
testicles.
no. Mostly because I think I think it sounds like a simple choice to just choose because I'm not a Shigenja or anything like that, but I thought it was very amusing because Momoku.
Okay, I figured that's where you're going.
Yeah, the reason why is I see it is he is a practical guy. Like he understands that. Yeah, sure, there is the mysticals, they do exist, but he's never really taken it into account too often. So, because he always deals with the non-spiritual side, so he's just it's more that he's focused his mind more on what he can physically see, what physically is happening.
Okay. I can work with that. There's definitely supernatural stuff that can occur inside the city, especially because of Tom's character's interest in that sort of thing.
He will miss out on most of it unless it's like straight hitting him in the face.
Yeah, and I do like the fact that there's like checks to do stuff like to understand the supernatural and uncommon around you will be affected by that.
Mm.
I figured out my what holds me back.
Okay.
It is this almost supernatural reminder of what he is, despite his denial, like being a twin, despite his like personal denial that it's a bad omen. And the adversity I want to give him is haunting,
Okay.
because the other twin didn't survive.
Oh, that's vile.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think it's fucked up, and I want to roll with it.
Like
I
your
think
parents
it's
always
fucked
remind
up.
you.
Yeah, I'm haunted by the spirit of my dead twin.
That's fucked up, dude. That is.
Yeah.
No, you
So what do you
are
do for
fucked up.
peace when you're haunted by your dead twin?
So I say it again.
Your passion, if you would.
What makes me feel at peace?
Your specific passion.
Puzzles.
Masturbation.
Puzzles, actually, putting pieces together, because he feels so disconnected. So like making something, because he feels like he's half of a whole, like ultimately, whether he kind of realizes it or not. So making something whole out of the pieces it came in is brings him a lot of peace.
I would have gone with masturbation because nobody wants to watch that, including the ghosts.
That's clever.
So
Haunt me, will ya? Fucking.
that is fucked up. Okay.
I'm sorry.
puzzles are not on the list of specific passions, but I think we can come up with something. Because all specific passions are basically the same anyways.
Yeah, I'll find something on the list. I've been trying to come up with a story and then find something on the list that works.
That's weird that they don't have like games or something on the passions list.
Yeah, I thought it was weird also. It's like they're ignoring.
I assume that it would be something like brushwork, pretty much.
It's some sort of like personal, like semi-productive leisure activity.
Yeah.
So like brushwork, yeah, would some sort of.
Well, I'm
equivalent.
saying that we could just name one called games, and basically use brushwork as our framework for games, which is like you can identify the different types of maneuvers that people take in chess and things like that. Like when people play Go, you can figure out what type of strategy they're using. And then after performing a check to study or participate in a game, you remove 3 strife. Easy enough.
Okay, cool.
I actually really like that. That's a good idea. Oh, here it is. Nope. I think it's Daredevil, actually.
No, that's more of an adrenaline junkie.
No, but Daredevil does have a game.
It has gambling in it.
Yeah, the only time I see games mentioned is when it has to do with gambling.
Yeah.
It's never like a basic leisure activity.
Yeah, let's go with games and make it the way that we talked about.
Okay. Yeah, because gambling is not a thing for him.
Yeah, because like if you look at wordplay, it says that you identify rhetorical and literal patterns in the works of others when reading them or listening to them. I assume that games would be the same way. That like when you observe a game, you can see what strategies people are employing and things like that.
Yeah.
Which would be fun because I get to make up random nonsense strategies and be like, oh, that's the lion two-fisted gambit. It's guaranteed to win.
He's using the minivan. Fuck. That also works for my masturbation advantage.
Oh, you're terrible. So, Tom, you got a passion in mind?
Yeah. Her passion is fortune
Ask
telling.
Murdoch what his passion is.
No.
Did you say me?
Yep.
Masturbation.
Can we pick one that's on the list, or at least something that's close? That
Yeah,
can be
I picked
played in the more
secrets.
seriousness.
Yeah, secrets. His secret is he masturbates.
Okay.
No, secrets. It's all about like learning secrets and
Mhm.
navigating the web of the court with the secrets and stuff.
It's a good choice. That's going to happen a lot.
Yep.
Like everybody does rumors in this city. That's going to happen a lot.
Mm.
So there you go. Secrets.
All right, Tom.
I picked fortune telling for mine. She actually just straight up has a tarot deck which he likes to play with. No one knows what it is. It's like, what are these stupid cards mean? It's like, no, I'll tell you your future. See, the Emperor means no, just stop that stupid stuff.
No, cut it out. Stop being weird. I don't care who my lover's going to be right-handed.
Okay, cool. There's another fortune telling that you could have too. The fortune telling sticks from China, like that would not be local to Rokugan. That would be something completely foreign too.
Mm.
Should be palm reading, you gypsy.
Okay, so after that is your question 12, which is your concern, fear, foible, or trouble. We've already answered what it is for Nate. Does anybody have an idea of what theirs would be? Those start on page 77.
Yes, I already have mine. I'm already done with all this stuff. So
I'm still trying to figure out my passion.
where is it?
I'm just taking a little bit more time here because this is where like the meat and potatoes of your character show up.
Yeah. So mine was ferocity.
Okay.
Basically, how I do it is as a child.
Popular choice for the Kakita in this group.
Well, for how I decided to go for it is basically because of my disadvantages, as they are. You know, I got made fun of a lot, and because of that, or you know, not necessarily made fun of, but more difficult. You know, I got treated like I was a different class of people, and so he didn't learn how to hold back his strikes.
Okay.
And he's actually one of the biggest failings that he has, that his sensei also kind of has for him, is that he killed another student in training.
Okay. Jeremy, you got an idea?
I'm still doing my passion.
Jeremy, you're the worst.
What?
Just drop out of the call. Just drop out of the call if you can't.
No. Chris didn't even come to me for passions. That's his goddamn fault.
That's because you have no passion in life.
What? That is not
Also,
100%
you weren't working on your
untrue.
specific advantage at that time.
I was not. I was done with my disadvantage by then.
Okay. Well, what is your passion then?
It's either secrets or travel. But it's
Either
like,
you want animal handling so you can have a monkey.
I don't want a monkey. Why would I want a monkey?
What's
I
his
don't know,
what's his
just-
clan?
Fun.
I'm Tortoise Clan.
He wants a tortoise.
Why would I want a tortoise?
Yeah,
'Cause you could
tortoises
ride it?
don't work. I don't know why they're the tortoise clan, but
Why? You know what? No. Fuck it. I'm going with generosity. I know how to best give gifts to people.
okay. That's a good one.
I like that a lot.
That
Actually,
is-
for the smuggler. That's fucking genius.
That is pretty good. It's funny, but it's
Like-
good.
That's
I
really
was looking
good.
at it. I was like, you know what?
He knows how to get wherever he needs to be.
Okay.
Like, no, the best thing is generosity says it takes pleasure in giving
Uh-huh.
the right gifts. Now I'm on to my anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking
Tom, you got an idea?
Yeah, painful honesty. Like I said, like she was not really raised or like properly focused on like proper court behavior, so she doesn't really have a good sense of holding her tongue.
She doesn't understand the concept of white lies.
It's like she just meets Mark here. It's like, my God, you're weird looking.
No, I'm attractive until you figure out I'm a dude, and then you're weird looking. And then you're jealous because I'm more beautiful than you are.
The one thing that I do want to bring up about the anxieties, because we didn't really get into it, they have to be things that can affect your character. So if you are brutally honest all the time, taking painful honesty does not affect your character. Just want to be clear about that.
Okay,
Or choosing phobia and having it never come up.
Yeah.
fair enough.
Murdoch.
Hey, that was Tom's failing. He could have easily used it during the Great Hunt.
I was going to say, to be fair, Murdoch did take phobia once, and I wasn't even aware during the time as a GM that he had a phobia. And then he walked into a city with a shit ton of his phobia, insects, and he was like, "No fucking way are we doing this adventure." Turned around and left the city to its own fate.
That was a great thing. It's like, here's this gigantic quest. Nope. We're just going to do something else.
There's like tons of messed up spiritual nonsense going in there. You guys were like, nah, fuck it. There's bugs. Not doing it.
Hey, man. Bugs. Fuck bugs. It was.
I also, so when we were playing Shadowrun, Tom, I had a ridiculous phobia of the great naked mole rat god that you easily could have used against us during the wild hunt, but you never used it, and I brought it up like 3 times.
I honestly don't remember this. I feel like if I remember this, I absolutely would have used that.
I was like, why are you not having the giant naked mole rat god attack? Because West would just lose his shit.
Huh. All right.
Okay. So,
next time.
Tom, do you want to change your anxiety, or is you just gonna still stick with it?
I think it's fine.
There'll be situations where you have to make the choice if you want to tell the truth or lie. What I'm basically saying is, if you stick with it, your character will choose to lie and then have to suffer the consequences a little bit more often. Basically,
That's
if
fine.
you just want to be like bumblingly honest, then that doesn't really affect you.
Yeah, it's fine. I'll keep painful honesty. I'll probably like play up the bumbliness a little bit less normally, but just so it's a bit more distinctive when she has to lie and that causes consequences.
Okay. Let's see. Nate, we already talked about yours. Jeremy?
I'm pretty much narrowing it down to either materialism or delusions of grandeur.
Delusions of grandeur.
Yes.
I like delusions of grandeur.
Mm.
Because again, his entire goal is essentially to become essentially the best informant for his daimyo.
No, it needs to be delusions of grandeur.
Yeah.
So I will bring this up. If he went with materialism, he has to, or he cannot refuse gifts of rarity 3 or higher, regardless of their meaning.
The worst part is the second part would really conflict with my generosity.
He suffers strife when he gives away his possessions, which his generosity will be like the dire opposite.
I think that really can't work because the way generosity really words out the how you take pleasure in it. Like,
yeah,
it would just not work with materialism. So I'm gonna go with delusions of grandeur.
Okay.
No, it does work with materialism because then you're just a masochist. You just bring suffering on yourself constantly.
No.
Perfect. So the next question is who have you learned most from in life? This is that mentor question, and I really liked what Murdoch did about having us write down, fill in all 3 of those boxes, like what skill / disadvantage they do and what advantage they give you. Because if I use that character because they're alive in the story, that lets me know who that character is. So let's go ahead and kind of look at that and see who it is. It sounds like Murdoch may have an idea already about.
Yeah. So I chose to go with an advantage instead of a disadvantage in a skill.
Okay.
And the advantage was subtle observer. So the person that is influential to me was not a sensei or anything like that, but was a Dragon Clan ward that the Kakita took in. And as a child, he was very integral in helping me to understand that you need to observe things before you act. And that he basically kept retelling the story of Kakita versus Miyamoto, and that both men knew that they could not strike in a duel because they would both die. That would be the end result. And they stood there for a whole day studying each other. But because of this, the disadvantage that I would have chosen would have been a custom, which is overthinking things. which is basically he gets in his own head sometimes when he's going over like tactics and whatnot. He constantly double checks himself, triple checks himself with.
Well, this would be for the person that was influential. So like the dragon would be overthinking.
Well, no, that would have been a disadvantage that the dragon had bestowed on.
Yeah, I'm more curious about what the dragon's disadvantage that they would have bestowed on you, like how it affects that dragon character in case I bring them in.
Yeah, that dragon character is it, and that's
I
the
think
disadvantage.
It sounds like he's kind of like the iconic dragon. Like he overthinks things. He's very observant, but also a little hesitant. Okay.
Yeah, and he's like I said, he's a dragon ward that we took in. That he's decided to stay on our lands at this point.
Okay.
But yeah.
And what would have been the skill, by the way?
The skill would have been meditation.
Okay, cool. So he's a pretty iconic dragon once we get a name for him.
I'll give you a name in 2 seconds.
Just fill it out in your 20 questions because I'll use that in case I decide to bring him up at some point during the adventure. Does anybody else have an idea of who their influential person is?
I do.
Okay.
Let's go with the Crab Clan champion, who I believe is
the bear.
Yeah, it's Hida Kasada at the time, right? Hida Kasada.
Jesus.
Who is like a paragon of courage and tenacity.
You took large as your advantage gained from him.
Thought about it. No.
How do you gain that from him? Like you just being around you makes you grow 5 inches? What the fuck?
I believe in his bigness so much that it made me big.
I gave you some of his steroids.
No, Hida Kasada, who like strength and courage in the face of adversity courage in the face of adversity grants you the strength you need to overcome any challenge, basically.
So and large in spirit.
So it became, the advantage I was going to go with was indomitable will.
Okay, cool. Do you want me to fill in the blanks on his disadvantages, or you got an idea?
I think I'm gonna take a look, but I think I got an idea.
Okay.
Because Hida Kasada is pretty bullheaded, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
He probably also has a fractured spine that he just doesn't give a fuck about. He lost the leg a while ago, but he just ripped off an uni leg and attached it and said, "Work!" And the leg's just too scared to not work.
And now it turned into his old leg.
Yes.
Like it's not an oni leg anymore.
No,
That's how he did it.
Exactly.
His disadvantage is fashion.
He probably has ferocity as an option, or let's see here.
He probably does. I think the Hida Kasada in the character's head is more the icon, not the actual person, because he left the Crablands when he was pretty young. So most of his knowledge of his original clan's champion, which
I would even go so far as to say he has like scorn of the Shadowlands. Like the whole fucking Shadowlands just hates him. That's the thing.
Hates me. I mean, yeah.
No, Hida Kasada hates Hida Kasada.
Oh yeah.
Because we're talking about him and then what you take away or what you gain from him. As far as like a skill that he would have passed on, it probably is like martial arts melee.
Look.
Okay, Tom, you got an idea?
Yeah.
Probably some foreigner.
Technically, it's my older brother.
Jackie Chan.
Not quite.
No, Jean-Claude Van Damme.
So some shitty foreigner.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Basically, the idea is the character's elder brother pretty much raised her and trained her. Her father was busy with clan duties almost all the time, so it ended up falling to her older sibling to take care of her. Her older sibling was also an outrider, so the advantage I'm picking up from that is keen eyesight.
Okay, cool.
It's also the reason why she uses a bow.
What would have been his negative thing?
I was thinking whispers of treachery. Let's say like 2 years before this campaign starts, her brother mysteriously disappeared. She has no idea why, but there's some whispers that he was actually a traitor and he betrayed Rukuyan somehow. she's still trying to find answers for that, but those like keep following her.
Okay, that's good. That's something that can come up. As far as a skill, probably
Ranged.
martial arts ranged.
Yeah.
Sense, or maybe like animal husbandry or some shit. Which I don't remember if there's like an animal skill or not. I think there is.
I think there is. Oh, a skill? I don't know. I think it's an advantage.
No, there's not a skill. You use other skills to help them because I have animal bond as my passion for the character I wrote. Okay, cool. So, Jeremy, how about your special person?
Yeah. His special
Tell us your special little guy.
is actually his grandfather, who's actually his mentor also. Who taught him, it pretty much taught him the ways of essentially not always do you need to create enemies when dealing with unsavory people. Sometimes it's better to have allies, which is why he has the mentality of gift giving, and he doesn't really try to backstab his enemies, because in the end that could always lead to worse consequences. At least that's what his grandfather always taught him. So the advantage that he has is directly his grandfather himself as an ally. His grandfather is a very old person, a very old guy who's been around for such a long time that he knows so many people, and that he also always goes back to him every now and then if he needs help.
Okay. So do you have an idea of it sounds like you're probably going to go with like allies then, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ally.
What about a disadvantage for your grandfather?
My grandfather has a disadvantage of cognitive lapses.
Okay.
Well, I can go to him as an ally. He's not always remembering everything he taught me.
No, I kind of like that. That's because like while your character did not inherit that is something that your character may be concerned about in the future.
Yes. So it's like I have an ally, but my ally might not always be the best ally.
Also,
well, your ally would be one specific person.
Yeah.
Let me look at my list of NPCs because I think there's probably an ally on there that I think would probably be a good one for you to start with. Probably somebody in the Wharf District. Let's see who is in charge. You probably know Anu Shigeko. That's ANOU. The first name is SHIGEKO. She is an imperial vassal family member of the Anu family. She's 31. She is in control of the Wharf District. And she's also in charge of the samurai housing. So while you've never been to the city, you definitely know the right kind of person to make contact with when you get there.
All right.
Whew.
Okay, perfect. So the next bit is behavior and personality. So what detail do you find most striking about your character? Let's go with Murdoch because I think that would be easy.
Yeah. The detail that I find most striking about my character.
Or do others find most striking about your character? But yeah.
Yeah.
you're just so pretty.
It's just so pretty. His stale blue eyes.
Okay.
They're just so pretty.
They're just so pretty.
No, I like it. I like it. It's like a feature.
So you are a crane. Just a real quick question. Do you follow crane tradition and dye your hair white, or you keep it black?
I'm actually albino.
Okay.
You're not albino if you have blue eyes.
Nope.
You can be.
The red eyes is just it is less severe if you have blue eyes. The red eyes is just a more severe lack of pigment.
So you don't actually die in the sunlight then.
Nope.
He burns really easy, like really easy, but he doesn't like sizzle away.
Yeah, basically I don't tan. I just burn there are things like that, but like that's why I say my eyes, because they're unnaturally blue.
Okay.
It's very, very. I've seen it
like-
before in real life. It is an extraordinarily bright color. It's kind of
Yeah.
eerie.
Okay.
It's beautiful, but kind of scary at the same time.
Yeah.
You could make an argument for purple eyes, because purple eyes are actually a very transparent shade of blue, where the blue mixes in with the red from the veins behind it.
Mm-hmm. So, Nate, what about you for a striking feature?
So no matter how much sleep I get, it never really matters. There are always noticeable bags under my eyes. At a glance, I always look tired, but like, if you look for just a second, you can see like my eyes are always darting around. Like there's energy, there's focus in my eyes, but like at a glance, I always look like I just woke up.
Well, you're an investigator.
Yeah. So, but it takes a second for people to be like, oh, he's awake. Okay, cool, he's here. There's just always bags there, no matter what I try to do.
Tom, you got an idea?
Aside from the general,
Not just like how you look. Just keep that in mind.
one of the more striking things, I guess, at a glance, would be she keeps her hair in several braids, which I think like no one in Rukagon really does that.
Jeremy, you got an idea?
He's got an
BO.
eye patch. Sorry, I'm sorry.
BO.
Body
Strong
odor.
Body odor.
Really?
Gross.
I was gonna say, if you go with it, understand that that means that is a
I
thing.
was no, I can't think of anything.
No, he goes with BO, and we're always like, oh god, why?
No, it's like he tries to wash himself. He cleanses is something he takes
Super cereal.
yeah, he takes it seriously. But there's always this underlying, hit smell that he just can't control sometimes.
It's like by
I
lunch,
was
it
gonna
feels
say,
like he needs a
Do you
shower.
want it to be like if you say BO, my mind goes to negative with that, like it smells bad, it's body odor. Or do you want it to be something like you always smell of salt and brine? Because
I didn't want to be smell bad. No, it's just there's a specific smell that he just never can get rid of. Yeah. Honestly,
well, what is the smell that seems to cling to you no matter what you do? Like, is it salt and brine like somebody would expect, or is it something weird like you smell like some cinnamon all the time or something like that? Or you smell like tobacco yet you don't smoke?
I kind of like the cinnamon thing.
That is very amusing.
There could totally be a story there.
Like
Why you smell like cinnamon.
I don't even know the story, but I like the story already.
Yeah, like
Okay.
I'm trying to think of something. I think you can do.
So do you want it to be specifically be like cinnamon, or are you thinking just like foreign spices? Like anybody who's around you can just smell spices around.
Yeah, I'm gonna go foreign spices in general,
Okay.
not just cinnamon.
The cool thing is if we had like an NPC that had the advantage keen smell, they could figure out which foreign spices.
Yeah.
And we have a PC with that.
No, we have a PC who. He might not know
I
it
made a character that had keen smell. I don't know if
No.
anybody else did.
as in
My monk in your game, Burdock, was going to have keen smell.
Tom may know of the spices. Can he distinct which spices are which spices they are? The reason why, I think the reason why I would go with spices, Chris, specifically because, well, he smuggles. He's always interacting with a lot of new things, especially because the Costco smugglers are known for smuggling in, gaijin things also, including spices heavily. So no matter how much he tries to hide it, he can't hide the smell.
Okay, cool. So what about how you react to stressful situations? And this is where you can customize your outburst. Anybody have an idea?
Yes.
All right.
Murdoch.
So my character reacts to stressful situations with not necessarily an unnerving calm, but the type of calm that's like, they're privately blowing up. Like you expect, looking at this person, that you're gonna experience a Matsu level explosion of anger all the time, and it's kind of off-putting to people because of that.
This
Okay.
pretty little girl
So
seething.
what is the outburst like when it finally boils over? What do we see?
When you finally see the outburst, it's a burst of like how do I put it? It's a burst of not necessarily anger because you expect to deal with the anger and you're like, all right, so she's just seething or whatever, and then instead of it becoming like a seethe, she becomes hateful with her words. Like
Okay.
it comes out in a more like you can see this person's visibly angry and oh no, they're gonna like start throwing around stuff or something, and all of a sudden it's like the switch flips and they smile and they nod and they go, "Aren't you just an asshole?" or something like totally,
she gets personal.
yeah, like hatefully personal about it.
Okay.
And because she's an infiltrator, she typically knows personal shit. So sometimes like the outburst may involve a secret.
Okay. Yeah, I like that. There is an outburst where you can give up personal secrets. I think her outburst is outing other people's secrets.
Yeah.
That's her custom one.
I like it.
Which I like because it may give away the fact that you know shit you shouldn't know. Kind of
Exactly. Like, fuck you, dragon! What do you know? Your clan champion's a fucking commie!
Whispers.
Nah, and the dragon's like, oh god, oh god, oh god.
That's what half the dragon would be like. No, the other half the dragon would be like, oh fuck, just wiping sweat off their brow.
Okay, Tom, you said you had an idea.
Yeah, mine would be expose a weakness. And the way I was thinking I was gonna do this is when she like gets overly stressed, she does not shut up, like at all. Like before with the painful honesty, it's like she's not entirely comfortable telling secrets or like just doesn't do it naturally. She literally just does not stop talking once she's stressed out, and just words start flowing, and everyone knows.
Okay,
Oh,
so this is the part where like once she breaks, it's painful. It's like the painful honesty. We don't have to worry about that anymore because everything that's coming out of her mouth is honest.
yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I think that's a good way to pair it up. Nate, you got an idea?
I'm trying to think of a way to. No, basically, no, I don't.
Okay.
Yeah, inappropriate remark.
Okay.
Mostly because it goes exactly against his ideals of how he deals with situations generally. He watches. I mean, he's dealing with all these seedy people all the time, and he tries his best to make allies out of everybody and all that. But he sees the evil going on. So when something really gets to him, he will just outright just fuck you.
So it's like it's a direct thing. It's not like muttering underneath your breath, like
no,
bitch.
Like normally
Yeah,
he keeps all that to himself because he knows he likes to see the bigger goal most time. But sometimes when he gets pissed, narrow-mindedness gets in his way.
Okay. I actually really like the idea of somebody who just like does that muttering underneath their breath as their outburst, because it's still a breach of etiquette. So like you're still going to face the same problems, but it is pretty funny.
This is my red stapler. I'm gonna burn this place down. Is that what you wanted, Chris?
Yep.
You wanted the. I'm sorry, but it would not work. Not for me.
I'm trying to think of how he responds to stressful situations, but I think I have his outburst.
Okay.
So in conflict with the whole striving for courage and like to face everything head on, and in conjunction with the whole paranoia thing, his personal outburst is that he just bursts into tears, like all like.
Why is this world so cruel?
Why are you
Basically, yeah.
crying, you coward?
Exactly, he just like falls into despair and can't contain himself.
Okay. I dig it. Okay. Cool.
All of a sudden, he's reminded of like that he's the only one left.
What about your character's pre-existing relationships with other clans, families, organizations, or traditions? This is the stuff that you guys can fill in afterward. I thought it was, at least when I did my character, it made more sense when I thought about this at the end once I filled it out, because I had stuff like who my influential person was, who their allies might have been, who my character should be tied to, that sort of thing. Because once you have a broader picture, you kind of have an idea of who this is. Unless you guys have anybody in mind off the top of your head that is not somebody that we've already discussed that you want to bring up. Like, for example, if like Murdoch's character has someone who's courting his female persona.
Oh,
that
yeah.
might be somebody to know.
Would you be okay if there's an Otomo courting my female persona?
Sure. There are not very many Otomos inside the city, so when he shows up, it's going to be like, oh no, an Otomo arrived.
Like, it's not. So I want to play it up that it's not uncommon that he gets courted and uses that to his advantage.
Uh-huh.
And it's like, this is just too good of a mark to not.
Play.
Yeah, basically, like.
It's like an annoyance that you have to keep because it's too valuable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Like, I've gone to like my master and I'm like, can I just end this? Can I be like, hey guy, I'm a dude, leave me alone? And he's like, no, this is Imperial family shit we got now. And I'm just like, God damn it, no.
I think it's gonna be like an Otomo that is like part of the banking conglomerate, like the people that mint coins for Rokugan, like just knows tons of secrets, trades in them under the table.
You leave my ancestors alone, okay?
Like he's a dirty banker, is what he is.
Hey, you leave my side of the Imperial family alone.
Now, on the flip side, when he comes to town, you eat well.
Yes.
You don't dine with us peasants.
So ancestry and family, I'm not going to spend a long time on names. I would like you guys to put down like what your childhood name is if you had one, and then your adult chosen name. Because if you have somebody that might know your childhood name, or frankly that's a secret that everyone has, it might be something that Murdoch is eventually able to pull from you guys, and then we'll get mad at you and reveal your childhood name in front of everyone. But that's why I wanted it.
I love the advantages, like, you're just sitting there, the secret's advantage, you're just sitting there in the thing and you hear a secret. You don't know its importance, you don't know anything about it, you just know the secret.
Swirl it away and you get a little stress taken away.
And then I have an eidetic memory, so it's like, oh yeah, you remember you heard this one rumor at the geisha house 10 years ago. Well, you don't say.
So the next one is the Samurai Heritage. So we kind of did this one a little off last time. It's basically roll twice and pick one is how the chart is supposed to go. I think for the most part we just ended up picking. I'm okay with us just picking again, unless you guys want to try the roll thing. I'll leave it up to each one of you.
I am rolling. I know that. Because I want to see where I go.
Yeah, let the dice fall where they may.
Okay.
What is it?
The Samurai Heritage.
That's on page 43 of the PDF.
It's a D10.
I'm just curious.
God damn it. God. Oh, actually, no, that's not bad.
Oh, for the love of...
What'd you get?
You got outsider.
What page is it? 43?
I actually misread outsider when I was doing my character. I thought your ancestor was an outsider, but no, you are the outsider.
Your character was not named for an outsider. Perhaps your character was an adopted orphan with no knowledge of their blood relations. Perhaps your character was named for an outsider who did a great service to the clan. Or perhaps your character's parents were trying...
3 and 5.
But not only...
But Tom, you get to roll it twice and pick one. So, like, for example, Murdoch got a 3 and 5. He's got Discovery and Wondrous Work to choose from.
So I actually got Famous Deed.
All right, let's try that again.
And then what is that? I rolled another 10. I rolled another die.
Glorious sacrifice.
And I'm gaining 1 rank in design.
Which one did you go with?
Wondrous work.
Wondrous work. Okay.
My first roll.
Okay.
I also
And-
get to roll another D10. I rolled a 1, Chris, for name is Deed.
Okay.
So I
Is
get
that
to
the
roll-
one you're going to go with?
That's the one I rolled.
All right.
Okay. So now you get to roll a family heirloom, which 1 to 3 is a weapon, 4 to 6 is a set of armor, 7 to 8 is another item, and 9 is a horse or other animal, and 10 is a boat or estate.
I'm hoping for a boat. Nope.
You
Get a
got
weapon.
weapon. Let me pull the weapons list
This
here.
is perfect because I have no need for a weapon.
It's a foreign weapon.
Oh, it would help if I actually clicked on weapons instead of equipment.
You got like a flintlock pistol.
I am not Tom.
No, I just think that'd be like so weird.
No, I'm not Tom. Stop it.
No, I'm just saying, like you trade with foreigners, so your family ancestry weapon is like some crazy foreign piece of technology or thing, or it's like a Kopesh or something.
Do you have any martial arts skills?
Nope.
Okay.
I have no fighting skills.
Okay.
How did that happen?
I chose not to go with fighting skills. Not until him, because I was still have 24 experience. I was gonna take something, but my starting character, I went.
No,
with
you should have no fighting skills.
Ooh.
If you don't start with them, have none.
I was
Okay.
not planning to have any really. That's why I'm pissed that I got weapon.
You should
Alright.
just use it as a threat all the time.
No,
So-
the thing is, I'm not designing him to threaten
So the
people.
cool thing is you pick out one freaking special quality for it, and then I pick out a special quality.
Okay,
If I remember right, you're on the chart still, right?
I'm still on the chart itself. Yeah,
Does
you
it
choose
say
an
that?
item. You choose one item quality, and the GM chooses one item quality from the list of item qualities on page 145, and they are applied to the item.
Okay.
145.
I think. Okay, you've got a Yari, but it's more like a harpoon than it is a spear.
All right.
So it has like all the stats that a Yari does. It is considered war gear. And then let me look at the qualities here.
I feel like I want to go concealable.
A concealable harpoon. It has a fucking hinge in the midway so you can put it on your leg.
It unscrews halfway, like a pool cue.
You know that would be hilarious.
I mean, what quality are you gonna pick?
I'm looking at them. That was the first one I saw because it was the first one. Let's see. Haha! Subtle. An item with this subtle quality is made with the intention that it will not stand out. While it is no harder spot in its presence or absence than any other item, discerning its unique elements is more difficult. Essentially, I'm trying to. I want it to essentially look like more like a walking staff.
Okay.
Unless what's it called? Concealable works with that as more.
I think subtle works. Okay, subtle counters the resplendent quality. Okay, good. I was just seeing if that countered the war gear quality. Which war gear, basically, if you have it when you suffer strife, you get an extra point of strife.
I can't help that.
I am going to go with razor edged.
Hold on, what's that do?
Razor edged. If you deal damage and it's reduced to 0 by the target's resistance,
Yeah.
you damage their armor.
All right.
And also, certain techniques require razor edged. Like you could technically use Aiijutsu with your spear.
See, now I have reasons to actually have some attacking stuff. Like nothing amazing, but more or less that. And that one small, reason way I can't win. I can't win by talking someone down or give them a gift. Well, I have my good old Yari.
I was strongly considering damaged because you would do nothing to fix it.
Nope, that's the best thing. I would leave it alone the entire time.
Okay, perfect.
I feel like you'd wake up one morning and it would just be fixed.
It's not mine then. Someone else replaced it.
By the way, I rolled the Glorious Sacrifice.
Okay.
So I go through the same process, except my item is lost and somewhere in the world.
Wait, what?
For Glorious Sacrifice, it's the same as Famous Deed, except my family heirloom is lost and somewhere in the world and should show up.
That's cool.
So I rolled for a set of armor, and the quality I chose was Sacred.
Hopefully this thing is one of the gifts that he gives away.
What type of armor is it going to be, though?
What do Outriders wear? Probably light armor?
They probably wear lacquered armor.
Yeah.
What's the school say? Because there is an Outrider school.
Good question.
Let's see.
Unicorn.
Born in the saddle. Here we go. Starting outfit.
Yeah, Ashugaru armor, whatever that is.
Hero. Okay, so that's probably what it is, or lacquered. One of the two. Which one do you want it to be?
Over 9,000.
Yeah, let's go with lacquered.
Okay, so that is ceremonial and war gear to start with. You added sacred. Okay. A Shadowlands creature or character with Shadowlands disadvantage makes an attack or intrigue check against target, increases the TN. Okay. I'm not going to take Unholy to cancel that out. That's fine.
It's an unholy sacred weapon.
It's just confusing to wear.
It's sacred to somebody. It's unholy to us.
It switches depending on the time of day. During the day, it's sacred. During the night, it's unholy.
I would say the other way around because it's probably foreign. During the day, you're using it. It's unholy. During the night, when no one can see you doing the deeds you do with it, you're doing the most good. So it becomes sacred.
I think it's going to be concealable.
All right.
It's going to be like a really light set that can be worn underneath the robes. I'm thinking that the backstory behind it is like some unicorn general wore it on the battlefield and it was lost at some point.
And now
the name for it.
This stupid Gaijin smuggler got it and is giving away as a gift in front of your face.
Whoa! It's not my fault. No, that's not true because I would easily be able to figure out by then, right, that it's the best gift to give to my new outsider friend here, but only when it actually suits the needs for my needs.
Actually, Jeremy, yours instead of razored edge, take snaring because I forgot snaring exists.
All right,
that's really appropriate for our harpoon.
Snaring. All right, I'll change it. Let's see what snaring does.
All right, Nate, did you pick out yours?
Yeah, I got 4, which was Dynasty Builder.
Okay.
One of my ancestors was instrumental in the rise of a powerful lord using cunning stratagems and shrewd advice to secure their ascension. I've heard this story many times and know the importance of power subtly wielded. I rolled a 10-sided die.
Your glory got decreased and you got a social skill.
Yep, I actually rolled games.
Okay, cool.
Hacks.
Pretty fitting.
Hacks.
Look at the chart, man. I rolled an 8.
Hacks.
I'm sorry, I'm better at my hobby.
Hacks.
Murdoch, what did you end up picking?
For what?
Your ancestry?
Wondrous Works. I got
Oh, you took design, right?
design, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So I think that's everybody's ancestry.
And I wear it. It's a magnificent kimono.
Okay.
Sorry, dudes, keep trying to get in your pants.
Is this like a wedding kimono and you're just completely inappropriate everywhere you go, or is it like just a standard kimono?
No, it's like the height of fashion kimono.
Okay.
From like 50 years ago.
No, like even now today, it's just like the design has been copied hundreds of times. You know, like it's so good, but I've got like the original and it's in silks and stuff.
Okay.
I wear it when I'm undercover as a trap.
Very cool. The next question is your death. You guys can fill this out. I don't care. Has no mechanical implications, but you should keep it in mind because your GM certainly will. That's the last sentence of it.
How should you die?
Seppuku.
In a hail of 108 arrows.
Fine, in a hail of 109 arrows.
Why you gotta one up me like that?
Yeah.
You just Price is Right him.
Get up the corner, be taken down by the most arrows.
Worse
No,
than
Chris, just so you know, I know exactly
Are
how
you
I.
going with a hail of 108 arrows. That's fine. I'm just asking.
well, yeah, like the thing behind that is like she
The reason I buy it for your character is your character also believes in tarot because you
Yes.
probably taroted your own death.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. She taroted her own death. It says a hail of 108 arrows. He doesn't know the context at all. Just that's how she's gonna go.
How am I gonna die in a desert? Gotta stop going to that gypsy woman.
Okay.
Seppuku, by the way, is how I'm gonna die
I figured that was your answer. Nate?
because of Gaijin Pepper.
Nate, do you know how you're gonna die?
In a fire.
Caused by your opium addiction.
Yes, obviously. No, I don't know. I zero context for the fire, but that's gonna die in a fire.
Do you have an opium addiction? Because that just basically makes you Sherlock Holmes.
No.
It doesn't. He does not. Unfortunately.
You need to have. That
Did
really
not even
bothers me,
think.
by the
I
way.
didn't even think about that. That's pretty funny.
There's no like opium addiction or
There isn't.
fucking.
There's addiction.
There's
Yeah,
addiction.
it's like sake.
No,
It's what
no,
it
there's
wants to be.
there's literally addiction.
It's just addiction.
Yeah, the sake advantage is like an appreciation for it, like the craft and all that other.
Oh.
blah, blah, blah. It's
No,
like an
there's actually
alcohol.
a
yes.
disadvantage called addiction.
Yeah, there's the disadvantage for addiction.
So yeah, you could have both sake as the advantage and
Addiction to sake.
And
Yeah.
to be an alcoholic.
But you know your shit.
But I know what I'm talking
And
about.
you know you're
Yeah,
picky
you,
about
you
your
would
shit.
end up in that cyclical pattern where you remove 3 stress, but you gain 3 stress. So it doesn't do you.
It's so stressful.
But Chris, I know how I'm gonna die.
Okay.
I'm gonna die old,
This
right?
is the first question that Jeremy's been prepared for.
Yeah, I know it because this one I know this one. He's gonna die old, right? When after he's preparing, gifts for his daimyo because he's retiring, but he's got everything ready to go. And he gets robbed and mugged in his house. That's it.
Okay.
Something stupid, simple.
I
Like
wanted him to just be
Somebody
like,
steals the gifts and leaves
He
you
doesn't.
dead.
No. The thing is, no one knows exactly who robbed him.
no, I really wanted you to die by giving the right gift. Like, it was too perfect, and the dude had to kill you over it.
I thought you were going with it was so perfect that I gave myself a heart attack.
No. Actually, this is kind of interesting.
Like you
Now that
give
I'm
the
thinking about
perfect gift, you return to your seat, and then just pass away with a
Because,
very, like content
you know what?
smile.
The thing is, I like that one better now.
What's
No,
that?
Dying because my life is completed. I give the perfect gift.
So I like it because he gives a perfect gift, but he doesn't know that it's related to some kind of crazy secret. Or that he gives a gift with a reason, but he doesn't know that the reason should be a secret, which is like he's revealing it to a lord who cannot abide by his secret being out. Even though he's like, a tear is brought to his eye because he loves the gift so much, but he has to kill you.
So
He has to get
I was
rid
gonna
of
say
you.
I actually kind of like the
Because of what you know.
peaceful death in the audience after giving the gift.
I,
Like
It
they
is ki-
discover
it
it,
is
like
cool.
hours later that he died in his chair after giving the gift. Like it's not an execution or anything.
damn it! I like that one. I like that one too much. The peaceful death, like that was perfect. Thank
Okay,
you,
cool.
Murdoch.
So
I don't think he was serious, but it is
mind,
good.
yo.
No, I was dead serious.
I know Murdoch's serious. That was Murdoch serious.
Yeah.
With all that in mind, that's the 20 questions there. You guys can fill in any details and flesh it out fully if you want. Inside the roll 20, preferably. That way I can kind of build things up. We still have some time, so what I would like to do is kind of talk about school
Masturbation?
structure. Because
No.
you guys are going to start with 24 experience to spend.
Okay.
So let's ask this question. During the campaign, do you guys want to have to visit masters of your style to advance your school?
Yes.
I think
I
it
think
makes
it's
a lot of
worthwhile.
sense.
Normally I would say no because it's just annoying. But I do really want to now because my master is forgetful in the first place.
I think it's worthwhile. So basically what it will mean is you guys can take things in your school to advance to the next rank, but the next rank does not become unlocked until you meet with someone of superior rank to you that can be like, yep, fucking omdy-domdy, you're rank 2 now.
Gives you a high five so that you know secrets.
When you guys are spending your 24 experience, if you unlock rank 2 by your expenditures, you can just go to rank 2. That's fine.
Okay.
Because that's
would have been before the story starts.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Let me find one of the schools. Let's start with the ninja school, if I can find that one. It should be like somewhere towards the middle.
It's actually towards the end.
Is it? Here we go. Infiltrator. Let's see. Martial arts, courtesy, performance, skullduggery. Which those skills will be things that are outside of martial arts. I think martial arts should be your group. I like courtesy. I like skullduggery.
For me?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm trying to come up with what your rank 1 would look like.
Yeah, just write it out for me. Because I think we should write it out, and so that way it can be published kind of thing later.
Yeah, we'll write it out. I'm just giving it to you now. That way you've got it so you can spend experience, but I'll write out the whole thing.
So what is it?
For your advances, it should be martial skills.
Okay.
Courtesy, skullduggery, and what do you think about culture? Or do you think sentiment? I think those two are good options.
If I'm supposed to be a scout and an infiltrator, I think sentiment works better.
Yeah. Well, the martial skills include tactics and fitness, which kind of fit into that scout infiltrator stuff.
Yeah.
So,
but if we go for more of an infiltrator type thing, I think sentiment, like being able to tell truth and lies, which is basically where my skullduggery is going to come from, is lies and truth.
Right.
So, because the other stuff, like other aside from maybe survival.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Rank 1 kata. I think that should be a rank 1 Shuji instead.
Okay.
Well, actually, you're more of a warrior, so maybe Kata does make sense. Yeah, let's go with Kata. And then let's see, Veiled Menace style and All in Jest. Let's take a look at those two techniques. I think Veiled Menace style is the one that gives you like sneak attack stuffs.
Which is actually a specialty of the Harriers, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, like when you attack an unaware or a disoriented opponent, it, I think, like gives you a critical or something.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Veiled Menace style. It is normally a school rank 2, but you would get it early. It's for assassinations and clandestine tactics that are frowned upon by many samurai. When you make a martial arts melee or unarmed using a weapon that in a one-handed grip, you may spend one opportunity as follows. Opportunity plus, if you succeed, choose an unaware or disorientated target. That target suffers a critical strike with a severity equal to the weapon's deadliness plus 1 per opportunity spent beyond the first. I think that makes sense. So Veiled Menace style.
Veiled Menace style.
Uh-huh. And let's see, what's the other one? All in Jest. That is probably a Shuji. Tell me if you discover it before me. Here it is, All in Jest. Veteran courtiers often play off missteps as joke. Let's see here. Activation when making a commerce water check, courtesy water, or performance water check, you may spend opportunity in the following way. Water opportunity plus. Regain 1 honor that you forfeit as part of this check to say something rude or appeal to your target's base desires, greed, lust, laziness, etc. by one per opportunity spent this way. Okay. There was something I saw earlier. Let me check this other thing real quick, because I think this might be kind of cool.
I get Keyhole, right?
No.
What does it have to be? It has to be rank 1, school rank 1, or what?
1 is preferable because you've already got something in the rank 2 area. I'm actually looking at Wolf's proposal right now. I'm just trying to figure out. Oh, that's a rank 4. Dear God, never mind. Okay.
Whispers of Court.
What does that one do?
Whispers of Court. It is rumors are the currency of court, and the most skilled brokers of gossip make sure to maintain a healthy stock of scandalous news they can barter. When such news is in short supply, many courtiers simply spin it themselves using cunning schemes and plausible half-truths to bait their webs of intrigue.
Okay, activation and effect.
Activation, it's a school rank 1. As a scheme action, you may make a courtesy air check targeting each character in the scene. The TN of this check is equal to the lowest vigilance among your targets. If you succeed, you create a rumor that sweeps across the room like a storm. Everyone in the scene hears it, and the characters with vigilance lower than your bonus successes even come to give it some credence. If spreading a rumor is your social objective in an intrigue, you score rhetorical points equal to your air ring plus bonus successes.
Okay. That's a good option. I also like Unearthed Ancestry, but I'm trying to think of your school more than you, because I think that's a good one for you, and I think Unearthed or Ancestry Unearthed is also a good option for you personally, not necessarily your school. What is this? Huh. Let's see. Kind of like Stonewall Tactics, but I don't know that that fits the Harrier mentality either.
Lady Doji's Decree. It's literally a Crane Clan thing.
Is that a rank 2 or rank 1?
It's a rank 2, unfortunately.
Okay. That might fit for your next tier. Let's look for rank 1 stuff first. Targets treat their vigilance as 1 lower per. When interacting with you, the targets treat. Now, when interacting with other characters, the targets treat their vigilance as 1 lower per opportunity spent. When interacting with you, the targets treat their vigilance as 1 higher. Oh, that's just fucking weird the way social distraction is. Huh. Ooh, I like Stirring the Embers. That seems like a good thing for the Harriers. So Stirring the Embers, basically when you make a social skill with the fire, check targeting 1 or more characters. You may spend opportunity in the following way: fire plus fire opportunity plus. Choose 1 target and 1 of their known advantages per opportunity spent. Until the end of the scene, when that advantage applies to the check, the target may re-roll up to 3 dice instead of 2. That seems like a good one. That's you basically bolstering the strengths of your allies.
Yep.
If they had one that was like negative version of that, where you could use against their weaknesses, I think that would be even better. In fact, we could probably just make something that fits that.
I'm okay with that.
If there isn't anything that fits that, I'm just double checking. Because there is a lot of like, this does this and this does the opposite.
I figured out what my anxiety is. Not my anxiety, how I respond to stressful situations.
Okay.
So I guess that's basically asking how your character changes the way they act as they get more and more strife.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he becomes notably less confident, less assertive, and more submissive in his actions and speech. Which normally for an investigator, you go with your gut, you just move forward regardless of what other people think.
Right.
So he becomes much more
Valuable.
negatively receptive to other people's influence. Yeah, malleable.
Okay. So for Murdoch, the technique.
Yep.
I will have to write it out, but I'm thinking it's going to be a water instead of fire because it's adaptability.
Okay.
And it's basically going to read the same thing, but it's going to be disadvantage instead of advantage.
Okay. On my allies or NPC?
You could use it on anybody you want.
All right.
Um,
I want the investigator to fail here. Yes.
The trick here is it says 1 of their known advantages on this one. Yep. So I think you have to discover their advantages, which I haven't seen any rules about that. So that seems weird that they would say specifically known advantage.
I thought that was an aspect of what's the skill called?
I think sentiment does it.
That one. I think that's an aspect of sentiment.
Let me see. Because that's the one that I would think it is if it's any of them.
Yeah. I thought we mentioned something like that earlier. There might have been something a little different, but like determining someone's strengths and weaknesses just by talking to them, meeting them.
Sentiment is a scholar thing. Culture, medicine, sentiment. No, it doesn't seem so. See if there's anything else that would kind of give it away. Seems like it should be a social skill if there is one.
Like giving away your disadvantage or your advantages?
Figuring out what your advantages, disadvantages are.
Are we sure it's not like advantage on a roll or something?
No, it's specifically talking about your, because in the fire one, it's talking about your known advantages. So like your advantages will offer you a chance to re-roll 2 dice. That thing basically means you can re-roll 3 dice.
Oh, okay.
Basically what we would do is the disadvantage, or not the basically it's the distinction thing, which means that if they have an anxiety, or sorry, an adversity, they, instead of re-rolling 2 dice showing success or triumph, they're going to re-roll 3 dice, is what this is going to end up doing.
Wouldn't you mean 1 dice?
No, it's going to make it worse for them, so they have to re-roll 3 of them.
Oh, okay.
So if you figured out that my button was that I was a twin, and that we'll say my sister didn't survive, you could be like, buttons, and then I'm getting all stressed out and I'm doing stuff worse.
So from what it looks like is you can discover them through play, basically by interacting through skills. Like you can try and push people to reveal these things through them having a outburst. That's
Okay.
how it works. So I like that because it's actually something kind of difficult to do. Like you're going to have to manipulate people to outburst in front of you, reveal something bad about them, and then use that against them, which fits for how your character is anyways.
Yeah.
So that was, I'm trying to remember, it was a fire one. It was like something about embers, right?
Yeah, stirring the embers.
Stirring the embers. Let me write that down inside our chat here so I can say opposite of stirring embers.
We can name this one Fanning the Flames. Oh, wait, it's water-based, this one. So
Yeah. I was going to say something like
Making
a
waves.
single ripple or something like that.
Churning the pool.
Turning the pool. That's a good
I think
one.
it should deal with the undercurrent.
Okay.
Feeding the
For some reason,
undercurrent.
I can't spell stirring.
STIRRING.
Or maybe something like oppressive waters. Let's see here. It was this one.
How about we open it up to community ideals?
Sure. If other people have suggestions before we start next week, then we can definitely take that as a suggestion.
Post it in the doobly-doo.
Yep. The other doobly-doo. And then rings will stay as rings for rank 2. They say
Rings will
trade
stay
skills.
as rings?
Yeah. For the advancement chart,
What is the rings?
you can increase any ring.
Oh, okay.
There's no specific ring you have to increase. Rank 2, it says trade skills. I think for you, it should probably be social skills. What do you think?
I'm okay with that. It's getting kind of late, and we have everybody else here. Is there anything you needed to do with like Tom or Nate, since they both work in the AM?
No, that's fine. I just want to get your rank 1 and 2 done at least for now, and then same with Jeremy.
No, that makes sense. I just needed because they work in the AM, so I just wanted to make sure that they were cool.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I was actually gonna ask if I could.
Yeah, totally
If there's
cool.
anything else you needed from me? Yeah, I'm gonna head out. I gotta get to bed.
Same here.
Good night. Buy Guns Vigorous online.
Thank you, Murdoch. Later.
Later.
So, yeah, I think social skills might be a better suit than trade skills. There's definitely stuff in trade skills that you should probably have like during your rank 3, but I think social would come up before trade for your school. Let's see, and then your 3 extra skills that are specifically named. By the way, did you write down the 3 skills that we said last time?
Yep. You said courtesy, skullduggery, and sentiment.
Perfect. Okay. So the next tier should be something along the lines of, let's see. Let's go with tactics.
Okay.
It's a social and a martial. So it looks like there's 2 martials and then a social.
How about the trading skills at this point? To get me prepped for tier 3 type thing.
We did skullduggery last time. Survival, I think, would be a good one.
Okay.
Because you're kind of scouts type deal. And then let's go with smithing. Because you probably taught some basics of smithing so that you could forge weapons if you were out and needed to.
Okay.
Oh, the other ninja has martial arts unarmed. I kind of like that. That's a good option too. Let's go with smithing for now. I'll probably put that in later. A rank 1 to 2. Probably air is probably still appropriate. But this says a shuji. I think it's just going to be a rank 1 to 2 kata. I don't think we need to narrow down the element. There was one you mentioned, Lady Doji's something or other.
Yeah.
That was a rank 2 shuji, right?
Yeah.
What does that one do?
I'm not on the page right now.
That was a water, if I remember right. It
Nope. Void.
was a void. Okay, let me pull it. Lady Doji,
Jeremy.
agree.
What's up?
You're a bitch.
Once per
Wow.
game session as an action, you may make a courtesy void check targeting a number of characters up to your school rank. TN of this check is equal to the vigilance of the character with the highest status among your targets. If you succeed, the target cannot perform attack actions targeting you. This persists for 1 round plus additional rounds equal to your bonus successes, or until you perform an attack action. You gain new opportunities of 1 opportunity for choose 1 additional target with a lower status than your first target per opportunity spent this way, or 2 opportunity, and targets can also not perform scheme actions against you. I think that works. That's fine. That was Lady Doji's decree.
Okay.
And let's see, that was a 2, so we can start looking at some 3 stuff now.
This is so I can go to rank 3, right?
Yeah. But one of them can be a little higher. I'm looking at rituals right now to see if there's anything that inside there that makes sense. Because the rituals are pretty much like the spell stuff, which is kind of weird that ninjas have rituals available to them.
Everybody has rituals available to them.
Oh, well, then it's not so weird. Okay.
It'd be weird if the ninja didn't have rituals available to him.
That.
I mean, he'd be
they are all rank 1, so never mind. There's nothing there that really stands out. Invocations is what I was originally thinking.
If you want to give me invocations, I'm totally cool with it, but I think Shugenja might have a problem.
No. I was thinking invocations as in that's what rituals were, not what rituals actually are.
Oh.
Give him Maho.
Yes.
Let's see here.
I need Kiho just to piss off Tom.
I think totally that I should have Kiho, not you, man. It makes sense.
You make sense. Shut up.
Hey, man. I do.
Here we go.
Tea ceremony. What the fuck? I don't know if you guys know this, but I ran out of water. Kind of upset.
Did
Okay.
you try turning the faucet on?
I wouldn't be so mad if my fucking door would stay open.
I'm honestly not sure how that matters to water.
Because so with my friggin' big ass tower in the room right next to my head, it's spitting out a lot of heat, and I have the windows open. Alexa, weather. But it's not really windy out, so I'm not getting a lot of crosswind. So if I keep the door open, the air circulates in the room a little bit with the fan. But if the door is closed, no circulation really. So,
how about Crimson Leaves Strike? It's a disarming strike that allows you to send a opponent's weapon 3 range bands away.
what is it called? Crimson Leaf Strike?
Crimson Leaves Strike.
Is that a kata?
Yeah.
It's a martial arts earth check. Jeez.
Open hand style was the one I was talking about earlier, that you can change your opponent's stance.
That's weird.
The open hand style?
Yeah. You could change your opponent's stance.
Yeah, it's actually kind of cool. Like, because if you're in the Earth stance, the other characters can't spend opportunities to target you. So like, the Earth stance is really powerful. That's one of the feedbacks that they gave. That like pretty much everybody is going Earth stance constantly.
I have not looked at stances yet.
Stances are for the weak.
Okay, and then let's see, what else do we have on there?
What if I don't want to choose a stance? I just want to hate people.
Void stance. Let's see here. So that's your 2 techniques. Wait, they have one called Feigned Opening. What the fuck is that? Where's that? Because that sounds pretty cool.
Page 134.
134. What does it do?
A wise leader creates the impression of weakness to disguise strength and the appearance of strength to conceal weakness. Whether one is brawling in the streets with a few allies or leading a host, the feigned retreat is a time-honored tactic, falling back and tiring the foe while maneuvering them into position for the finishing blow. Prerequisites, school rank 2. Activation. As movement and scheme action, you may make a performance air check targeting one character in the scene who is observing you. The TN is equal to the target's vigilance. This technique can only be used during the skirmish and mass battle conflicts. Effects. If you succeed to reduce the TN of the next attack check against the target, each target, or their cohort in a mass battle, by 1 plus your bonus successes. This effect persists until the end of your next turn. New opportunities. There's It's exactly
That was
what
rank
it sounds.
2?
Yes.
Oh, it looks like they didn't do what they did in rank 1, which was give you 1 higher. So maybe that that leaves thing we should change to a rank 2 kata.
I mean, you already have me having to learn a kata, so I have to learn 2 katas.
Oh, that's true. Maybe it should be something else. So take that out. We'll look at a Shuji.
So then I'm gonna have to learn 2 shuji.
It's either that or you come up with or we choose a rank 1 ritual, which I don't think makes sense because there's not really anybody that does rituals.
Oh, okay.
I mean, there are plenty of time. Well, there's times where they do 2 katas and then they do. The good thing is you get the kata that your school expects of you, and then any kata you want that's in that style. So we'll keep our kata. I think it might be Iron Force style, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, because it's about spears, and the Daidoji are all about spears. Let me see if there's anything else that seems like a good fit.
Am I hiding as a Bushi then? Or as a duelist? Because that was as a Kakita, I was going to hide as a duelist.
You can if you want.
Okay.
I mean, it's not like anybody would call you a Kakita out for being a duelist.
I'm thinking about what your school does, not
nope,
what
totally fine. No, I understand. As a Daidoji, they use spares, so it should be a spare kata.
That's what I'm kind of thinking.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's going to be the Iron Forest one. Iron Forest style, which is Bushi versed in the spear can control their spacing efficiently, blah, blah, blah. When you make martial arts melee using a spear, naginata, or other polearm, you may spend opportunity in the following. One gets 1 target of your action becomes pinned until the beginning of your next turn. While pinned, if the opponent attempts to move closer to you, the target must make a TN4 fitness. Air 2, water 5 check, which I got to figure out what that does. And then the target suffers physical damage equal to their strife on the check. If the target fails, they do not move, or they cannot move closer. Oh, I think I understand how that roll works. So if they use air fitness, it's lower, or I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, I couldn't figure some of those out when it said they require like maybe they
'Cause
require
some of
multiple
it, some of
checks.
it makes sense the way it's written, and then there's this, which I'm not really sure what's going on here, so I'll have to look. Air 2, water 5 check. Let me write that down so I can continue to go through the rules, because that's the first time I've noticed that. And then everything else inside the school stuff is pretty much the same for everybody. So getting a rings is the last thing. And then for the smuggler, let's see here.
Hello.
Are you good with me?
Yeah, all set.
All right. I hate everybody here, Dicelings.
We'll come up with your rank 6 mastery when it matters, or when I write down the schools. That's basically
It'll never matter.
Yeah.
Real quick, guys. Thank you for tuning in today. Check out the link to my to the video we did in the doobly doo. I hate all of y'all and something. Jeremy's a
Buy
bitch.
Guns of Icarus online.
something. Jeremy's a bitch.
Yeah, I'm not.
Okay.
All right, Chris. Now that it's just you and me, we can shit on Murdoch as much as we want.
Let's see here. I'm trying to find a school that I think will serve as a good skeleton.
The real problem is I would say, what is it called? Crap. I had it up. I was started looking at something else because I was waiting. Advancements.
It's definitely the heated offender.
Doji Diplomats may be a good start.
That's what I'm kind of thinking too.
It was that, or honestly, the Bayushi Manipulator.
I must have scrolled past them. That might be a good fit.
So let's see. I think they're good fit also, since the Scorpion are huge on duty, which we established earlier that so is the Tortoise.
Yeah, we'll use the Bayushi Manipulator as kind of our baseline. This seems like a pretty good option here. Rank 1.
I think their rank 1 is really where it fits better, but their rank 2 doesn't fit as well.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say rank 1, skill group social, sentiment, martial arts unarmed, skullduggery, that's all fine.
I didn't think much of the unarmed martial arts, but I'm not. I would not be surprised that they would have it built into them.
I mean, you would have some sort of option. Like your school would teach you some sort of defense.
Yeah.
Actually, it's probably martial arts melee for you.
That's what I was figuring more. Just it wouldn't make. I think that if they taught, they would teach defense, but I think they would just go with simple, just use a weapon.
Yeah. And then rank 1 air Shuji. That's what they say. What was it? Water for you? Let's see if there's any cool stuff in water that makes it worthwhile to be like rank 1 water. All ingest.
I think the all ingest work pretty well, but I think that
Shallow waters is in there.
I think shallow waters.
I like shallow waters a lot. Well of Desire is in there.
Honestly,
Ooh,
also
actually, Well of Desire is what you're probably going to want to take. Yeah, let's say water. Well of Desire is when you make a courtesy water check to present a gift to a target, you can spend opportunity as follows. To refuse your gift, your target must forfeit glory equal to the water ring. Additionally, if the gift is something that the target desires, they must suffer strife equal to its rarity if they refuse it. If your target accepts the gifts, reduce the TN of your next social check, targeting them by the rarity of the item to a minimum of 1. That'll probably be the one you take as your choice for a rank 1 water Shuji.
So that's to start off.
Let's
see.
Actually, I think that's going to be from your school because your school is going to give you a technique too.
Yeah.
Which I've got to write those down and get you and Murdoch that too. That way you guys can spend experience and make your characters into characters.
Well of Desire, right?
Yeah, that was Well of Desire.
All right, I'm gonna put that as my starting school ability then.
Yeah, I think that's going to be one that your school teaches you. That's too good to not be like a Tortoise Clan thing.
It does fit very well. The only other thing is I definitely see the jest one being a pretty big one.
Stinging Insult and Weight of Duty. I like Weight of Duty being in there. That's a good one. What is Stinging Insult? That'd be another Shuji most likely.
Most of it's Shuji. That's why I said the midfielder is surprisingly a good fit. They're like the other end of what the smuggler does.
Right.
They're the ones who do the backstabbing, where the smuggler is more keeping the balance.
Let's see. Well, a lot of the imperial families are like that. They're like basically stir the pot and not give anyone power and keep the empire in power, or the emperor in power.
Yeah,
that's basically how it works. Is Stinging Insult like a Maho or something? Because I didn't see it. No, it is not good.
Did you find it? Because I have not.
I have not either. I don't remember if this thing can be searched or not. Let's see.
It has been working for me. Problem is, I'm not finding Stinging Insults.
Maybe it's just missing, because I know there was something about something missing. Yeah, that technique is missing, it looks like.
Yeah.
Okay, good to know. That's actually probably the technique that we're trying to invent for Murdoch, is probably what Stinging Insult does. Okay, so let's take a look. That would probably be a Shuji. Let's see if we can find something that works like a rank 1. How about Rustling of Leaves? Basically, if you make a social air check, you create a rumor. You can spend opportunity to increase the TN of tracing a rumor back to you by 2 per opportunity spent that way.
I can live with that. I think it would fit the school ideal.
Yeah.
The only real problem is it doesn't fit with the way the school built up its what's it called? Its rings. But that's not always a bad thing.
No, I would think the way I'm thinking about it is your school is probably pretty balanced just in general.
Yeah. Like I said, air is the only one that I lacked more than any others, but that's only because I chose void instead of updating void instead of air or something like that.
Yeah, but you could also spend your experience to increase your air.
Yeah, I was planning to do
it's like
that,
3 times the rank that you're going to, if I remember right. Which increasing your rings helps you advance in your school anyways. So
yeah, I was planning to increase that anyways because air has a lot of things around, things around it that fit what I'm trying to do.
Okay. For
And then rings, any.
yeah, the rings will stay the same. Let me make sure I'm on the right page. Here we go. Rank 2 scholar skills. Let's see which ones those are. I'm thinking trade skills should be that instead.
I think that would fit better too. That fits. That gets the commerce, the seafaring.
Yeah.
A lot of the lower end skills, which the smugglers
Which I think
are
that's
willing
cool,
to
would
do
benefit
more.
from. Yeah. And let's go with
I think courtesy still sticks.
yeah, courtesy's fine. For medicine, I think it should be replaced with either like design or smithing.
Smithing is something you gave me early as an option for the class and for the school.
Yeah, because I was thinking about like the fact that they probably have to like do repair work to the ship and stuff like that, and smithing kind of is the catch-all. Yeah, I think smithing makes the most sense.
Plus, again, to me it feels like they tread the line of not being too bothered by a lot of the lower end skills because they do more out of necessity.
Right.
So they need they need to be able to fit in with all groups.
And
They're
then,
essentially ninjas without being ninjas.
and then let's take martial arts melee out and replace it with let's go with government.
That I totally agree with. They need something.
Rank 1 to 2 shuchi of an element. What made you choose a rank 1 water? So probably an earth. I think that's what the other one that you got stacked into, right?
Yeah, it goes water, and earth and fire. But I think earth was the secondary and fire meet the tertiary.
Oh, here's how you can find out someone's disadvantage. You can do honest assessment, which allows you to know to target someone's. Oh no, you have to target someone's known disadvantages. Never mind. Yeah, let's go with Earth. Rank 1 to 2 Earth Shuji. The list is a little limited, but I think there's some good options in there. Like Ancestry Unearthed is a pretty cool one. And same with Civil Foremost. Or Civility Foremost. I think it's funny because you have like some good options in here to force people to forfeit honor and just drag them through the fucking mud.
Isn't that what being a Corsair is?
I was gonna say that's pretty much every Imperial family ever. Let's see. And then they get Fanning the Flames and Veiled Menace style. Veiled Menace style is a rank 2 kata. That's the sneak attacky one. And then Fanning the Flames is...
So do you want me to put in Civility Foremost or in Ancestry?
No, just put rank 1 to 2 Earth Shuji.
Okay.
That's a choice you can make.
Okay.
Fanning the Flames seems like a good one still, because basically you push people into, you can push them and give them conditions by making social checks like dazed and enraged.
That's not bad.
Trying to see if there's anything else that kind of stands out. Let me go back to the... It's probably not going to be air because that's just stiff over there. Let's look at it. Fire. Is there anything else?
There's a rank 2 water one. Tributaries of Trade.
I actually really like ebb and flow. That's kind of a cool one. Basically, you can turn their advantages to disadvantages and disadvantages to advantages.
Yeah, I saw that.
Let's see here.
But I was saying Tributaries of Trade would work a lot also in the gift giving. It essentially allows me to, out of nowhere, bring up a gift that I had apparently bought at one time for this.
Yeah, I like that. Tributaries of Trade should be one. And then you get one more, which... I think I know what it should be.
Yeah, as much as I like Ebb Flow, that's a rank 3, so that should probably wait until at least school rank 3.
Not always. You can go up to one higher. But I think Tributaries and Trade should be one. And then the other one is All Arts Are One. It's a void 3 normally. You'll be getting early access to it, but basically as a support action, you can make a TN for martial arts skill void, games void, or performance void check to rapidly absorb a new activity covered by that skill. If you succeed, you immediately intuit how to wield a new weapon, play a new game, perform a new instrument, song, dance, or others task. You do not apply the TN increases that might be associated with dealing with something you're not completely new to. And then you get a new opportunity of choose a ring, reduce the TN of your next check for that ring for the chosen skill by 1. This presents until the end of your next turn. That might be a good option, or we can actually look into katas and actually get you something that's an option towards something that could be used for fighty stuff.
Yeah. Well, All Arts Are One are nice because it allows me to pick up whatever I need to do to fit
Right.
the situation. But you're right. I do need some fighty stuff. Like, I know we have other fighty people, but come on.
The only other option that I can think of would be open hand style. And if we go with open hand style, that means that one of your skills should be martial arts unarmed for this rank. Which the cool thing about that one is you get to change people's stances. Like I'm looking at the other stuff and I just don't see the other stuff as things that I would see your family doing.
True.
like Lord Hita's grip is like the grappling thing. There's Iron Force style, which is a spear one. Crescent Moon style is the one that lets you attack at distance when you're guarding someone. Shiva's selflessness might be good. Basically, you can make people target you instead of your allies. You have to be picked as the first target. Pelting Hail is the arrow style. Rushing Avalanche is two-handed weapons. Spinning Blade is two-weapon style. And then Veiled Menace is sneak attacks. Nah, you know what? Veiled Menace makes the most sense, I think.
Veiled Menace.
That's the sneak attack one.
Would match my subtle harpoon.
Mm-hmm.
True. I think that would work a lot better because if I'm going to fight, I'm going to at least try to take advantage and get the first strike in.
And then rings will stay rings. I'll write up the rest of it for yours and Murdoch's, and I'll get you your starting techniques as well. Those I should get to you probably soonish, next couple days.
Yeah.
That way you guys can advance your characters and everything. That's pretty much all I had for this one. We're just 15 minutes past what I expected, so not too bad.
If possible, I'll see if I can take one of these advancement tables and adjust them for us.
I think there was in the character sheet stuff, there's like a blank advancement thing, like a generic advancement one for the character sheet, which I've got right here. Yeah, for the character sheet, you can actually write in stuff because like it has spaces next to it. Oh my god, my light's so blinding. Like inside the spaces.
Oh, that's right. You're right. You're right. I totally missed that.
Which my Happy Jack's fillable version doesn't have that as blanks. But whatever.
24 experience. Figure out. I'll think later. All right. I think I have everything down properly enough.
Very cool.
I think I just need to fill in. I think there's. Oh, the only thing on the 20 questions I haven't filled in yet. How did your parents describe them? I'll figure that out later.
Oh yeah, we skipped that one.
It's not really that
fucking weird.
Like, I don't know how my parents would describe me. I'm not my parents.
Go with my answer. Fucking weird. All right. I'm going to call it because I need to catch up on sleep. As you can tell, my eyes are a little red.
Yeah, I can't go to sleep yet.
For everybody who's been tuning in, thanks for tuning in as we kind of worked our way through new characters and setting up for the campaign and stuff. For everybody who wants to catch the beta adventure that's built into the books, we will be doing that as soon as Murdoch gets his doctor's stuff sorted out. If everything's good to go and he's greenlit for his health, then he'll take that back. Until then, we're just going to run the beta campaign. As always, guys, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you at the gaming table.